With match day on BBC Radio Suffolk, and Ipswich Town are back in Premier League action ahead of kick-off against Southampton. Let's get back to Portman Road. Mick Mills, a legendary figure at both clubs in a moment. First, your commentator, Brenna Woolley.
The last time these two sides met here, a Town win injected serious momentum and belief into the Blues' promotion push. Now, almost 10 months on, how we could do with a repeat of that, albeit without the late drama, if possible. There's no doubting both of these sides will A, be desperate to win this one, and B, feeling like they can. As things stand, Ipswich Town and Southampton occupy the bottom two places in the Premier League, although Kieran McKenna's men are 10 points better off. Whether we'll see a cagey game because neither side wants to lose, or an exciting and open one because both sides go all out for victory, remains to be seen. What is a certainty is that Ipswich will finally get on the ball this afternoon, having watched their last two opponents pretty much control matters. And Mick, most people, including Alex Matthew and your old teammate John Walker, have been classing this as a must-win for Town. Obviously, Kieran McKenna was keen to avoid that terminology yesterday, but where are you on that? They do have to win this one, don't they?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I go with Kieran McKenna to start with, because the fact if we don't win this game, we aren't relegated. If we win the game, we don't stay up. So it's not as crucial as that. I think there's 3 games further on that have got a bigger value than this. It's when we play Everton, when we play Leicester, and when we play Wolves, because we are so close to those 3 teams. That will make a tremendous difference. Obviously, when you're looking at it now, I think personally the bottom line for us now is 4 wins and 4 draws to give us any chance to stay up whatsoever. It would be nice to think we could start the 4 wins off today. There's an opportunity without question. When I look at Southampton, it's a difficult one for them. I think there's too much of the season left for them to actually say, let's forget about this season, let's work under the new manager to get a team together for next year. We're too far away from that to happen. I think what's happened now for them is that their season has freshened up a little bit, purely and simply by the fact they've got a new manager. So I expect Southampton to be livelier than what their league position suggests. As far as we're concerned, I go with everybody else where this is a great opportunity, and if we can play anywhere near to our best, we have a good chance to gain 3 points.
Lovely conditions for football here. Obviously it's chilly because we are only just into February, but it's a light blue sky overhead. Few clouds as well as the 2 sets of players, Pat Palms crossing on the halfway line. 4 changes for Ipswich Town. No Burns, as we know, because of a long-term injury. Christian Walton also out injured. Phillips and Philogene dropped to the bench, so Muric is back in goal. Kayuste into midfield, and then Enciso and Broadhead into that attacking quartet. It's Paraguayan's home debut and full debut as well. Came off the bench and got an assist at Anfield last week. So Muric in goal, the back 4, Twanzebe, O'Shea, last week's goal scorer Greaves and Davis, who we heard from earlier on match day. Then the 2 reunited, Morsey the captain alongside Kayuste. It was Morsey who got the late equaliser for Town at St Mary's in September. A 3 of Hutchinson, Enciso and Broadhead. And Liam Delap once again leads the line, hoping to end his barren spell of 11 games without a goal from open play. On the bench, Slicker, Taylor, Hurst Phillips, Godfrey Johnson, Townsend Philogene, and Jack Clark, because of course just the one Clark in the squad now because Harry has been borrowed by Sheffield United to help their promotion push from the Championship. 3 changes for Southampton. Also they've changed their goalkeeper. Ramsdale comes in for McCarthy, who drops to the bench. Ramsdale had been missing through injury. And Wellington and Grunbeck, signings this week, the Brazilian and a Dane, they come into their side. Manning and Armstrong, the 2 outfield players to drop out. So Ramsdale in goal. They've tended to go with the back 3 this season, which currently is Bree, Bednarek, who scored their last 2 goals, and Harwood Bellis. The wing-backs, Walker Peters down the right, Wellington, the Brazilian, down the left, and between them, Ogachukwu, on loan from Chelsea, the French midfielder, alongside Aribo, who played against Town in the Championship last season. They're leading their striker through the middle is Onuachu, all 6'7" of him. He'll get the support from Grunbeck and Fernandez. Fernandez has found some form of late. by all accounts. On the bench, McCarthy, another former Town player in this squad. No Downs or Fraser, incidentally, but Bree and McCarthy have both had loan spells here in the past. Bella Kocha, Stevens back from injury, Sugawara, Smallbone, the experienced Lallana, Sulemana, Armstrong, and a very, very talented youngster, Tyler Dibbling, just back from injury. He got their goal down at St Mary's earlier on this season and has had a fantastic breakthrough season. He's surely destined for bigger and better things. The man in all black with a whistle, in charge of this one, Michael Oliver, who controversially sent off Lewis Miles Skelly last week in that Arsenal-Wolves game and got some ridiculous abuse off the back of it, is in charge of Ipswich Town against Southampton. What an atmosphere at Portman Road. The Southampton in their changed kit of yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks get planned away all the way to the back to the man in all orange, Ramsdale. So Town in blue, white, blue, playing from left to right in this first half. What a massive game for both these clubs. There's Onuachu, what a handful he's going to be. To the left-hand side, Groenbeck. The Dane has been borrowed from Rennes in French football, full Danish international, the 23-year-old, both new signings for Southampton, 23. Delap battling on the halfway line, says he was manhandled by Bednarek. Referee's blown for a free kick on halfway against the Saints.
Well, Tuanzebe did really well in the defensive corner there, and Muric's kick was excellent, and then Liam Delap has started off nicely, winning us a free kick there.
Liam Delap's dad Rory scored in the last Premier League meeting here between these two sides. Tuanzebe, good to see him back in the side. Back-to-back starts for him. Morsey to O'Shea, Square to Greaves, who got that consolation in front of the 3,000 travelling fans a week ago, which was a highlight for them. Here is Kayuste, rested last week because of an ongoing knee problem. Tuanzebe, Town on the front foot early on against Southampton. Hutchinson runs straight into Wellington. Good first involvement by the Brazilian on debut. Underneath us, carries it away from Hutchinson. He's being impeded by the Ipswich Town wide right player. Shirt tug, says Michael Oliver. Free kick to Southampton in the left back area, which Ramsdale and England international will take.
I think Wellington took a gamble there. It was a 1-to-1, and I fancied Murray Hutchinson to do well there. And I think the left back gambled on coming to make a tackle and take the ball off him. He could have so easily been sidestepped by Omari.
Great volume inside Portman Road. Ipswich Town supporters totally understanding the magnitude of this 90 minutes on halfway. And Cissé trying to head it on with the number 9 on his back. What a defeat for his parent club at lunchtime, if you didn't hear Graham talking earlier on. Forest beating Brighton 7-0. Here is Cissé on his home debut, trying to get through the Southampton backline. It's Wellington who gives it back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale side foots it out of play. Oh, lovely touch from Kieran McKenna. Cushions it down nicely for Axel Tuanzebe, the number 40, throws it up towards Enciso. Good involvement from him. He finds Delap. Bright start this from the Ipswich Town new boy. Enciso wants it in the centre. In comes the cross from Davis. Hangs up in the air and well held by Ramsdale. But the number 9 started brightly for Town.
Yeah, that's good, and it's good that he's actually had a couple of useful touches early in the game, because that's introduced him to the team, it's introduced him to the pitch, the stadium, everything. He'll feel now much better about himself.
And this is the team you would have picked, you were just telling me off air, Mick, for this one?
Yes, without question. The lineup, it's only Cameron Burgess who I feel is a little bit unlucky, but this is close to what I would go with. The biggest, it's not a problem yet, but the system that we're confronting, we've got the advantage, numerical advantage down the sides, down the touchlines, but they have the advantage right through the middle of the pitch, so it'd be interesting to see how, the two teams fare.
Grumbeck goes to Taylor Harwood-Bellis, now full England international, made a goal-scoring debut towards the end of last season. He slices his attempted ball down the left out of play. Morsey from the throw into O'Shea, who incidentally, while Mick was talking, O'Shea won a really good header against the far taller Onuachu. Town playing it short at the back. Muric out to Kayuste. Kayuste, the player who dropped from midfield to the edge of the 18-yard box for a brief touch, directed the ball to O'Shea. In the 4th minute, Muric gives it to Jacob Greaves. There is Leif Davis. Nice to hear from him earlier on match day. His ball forward. Looking for Delap. Delap's clipped from behind, just holding his right heel, limping and up to his feet. Ipswich Town number 19, free kick for the Blues. Everton beating Leicester 1-0 up to the halfway line. That's a massive game at the lower reaches. And Ciso finds Delap. They're linking up well early on. Delap comes in field. Oh, he just saw it run away from him. Bednarek stretched out his right leg and got the ball away. It's a nice attacking play from Ipswich Town in this first 5 minutes, and Ciso right at the heart of it. Morsey has to turn away from Aribo, gets the ball to Greaves on the halfway line. Greaves picks a pass to Enciso. Enciso with the ball, running through the Saints midfield. Edge Vieira tries a shot, deflected. Ramsdale surely can't prevent it from going out for a corner. It's going to be a corner kick to Southampton, and Town fans are enjoying what they're seeing from the new boy.
Yeah, good contribution from Enciso. He's sharp, his control is tidy. He got himself completely turned around there, 180-degree turn, and off he goes, running towards the Southampton defence. Some good play, some good link up with him and Liam Delap. I think Liam Delap was a little bit slow in playing Enciso through just a few seconds ago.
He's waving his hands to the crowd as well, trying to pump up the volume a bit more. And Ciso on this corner kick for Ipswich Town got an assist a week ago, and it comes to the far stick. O'Shea meets the header, and he tries to lift it up to the far post area. He's never going to score there. He's just trying to nod it into a dangerous area for maybe Delap, but the gloves of Ramsdale went up and they were solid and sound. He has the ball again from open play at his right boot. Ramsdale, a summer arrival from Arsenal. Long kick downfield from him towards Onuachu, battling with O'Shea. Then it's Fernandez, plays the ball to the left-hand side. Hutchinson should see it out of play against Wellington, and he does indeed. Ivan Juric, the 49-year-old Croatian, clapping his hands above his head, enjoying what he's seen from his side in terms of endeavour. The new Southampton manager, he's had 6 games in charge, lost all 6 of them. Muric of Ipswich up to Enciso, nice little left to Delap. Enciso wants it back. Liking what I'm seeing of these two immediately. Great challenge from Kayuste and Walker-Peters. Southampton get the ball back. Got the worst attack and worst defence in the division. Southampton 6 points from 23 games so far. Just that solitary win against Everton, 1-0 at home. That was on the 2nd of November. Took a long time for it to come, and it's taken a while for it to be backed up. Trying to not beat Derby's worst ever tally of 11 points in that 2007-8 season. Southampton wide on the right hand side. Onuachu, his control lets him down, and it's a Leif Davis throw in midway inside the Town half. Yeah,
it's a good lively sort of contest at the moment. We haven't quite seen how Southampton will settle down as a team yet, because Town have actually started really brightly and are moving the ball around very, very nicely.
Broadhead takes the ball in his chest, plays it in field towards Enciso, cleared away by Southampton. I just hope that the injury to Dominic Calvert-Lewin might hinder Everton quite severely, but they're already 2-0 up against Leicester. What a start for them and David Moyes. And Ciso, everything's going through him. He finds Hutchinson, edge of the Southampton area, trying to get away from Wellington. Wellington wins that duel. Hutchinson challenges again. It's out of play for a Southampton throw. It's a big test for the new left back or left wing back of Southampton. Wellington, he's done well so far.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I do believe he's gambled on both challenges that he's made on Amari Hutchinson. He's got it right, so I've got to go with him at the moment and say the timing is absolutely perfect, but my judgment tells me that he's gambling too much.
He actually signed a contract for Southampton in the summer, but he's been with Sao Paulo to the end of their season. And Ciso gets the ball off the chest of Delap, tries to knock it into the Southampton area. Hutchinson's also involved, but eventually it's the left boot of Aribo that plays it into the Ipswich Town half of the field, just away from Ivan Juric, who was fascinating pre-match. I've never seen any visiting manager do this. You don't normally see either manager out during the warm-up for either team, but he stood on the centre spot and stared at Ipswich Town's warm-ups for so long. Ivan Juric, it was absolutely fascinating to watch. Maybe trying to pick up some tips, maybe seeing who he might fancy inquiring about.
Doing a bit of scouting.
He might well have been. He got on his phone afterwards and we thought, has he got Kieran's number? But he was standing there for a while, just spellbound by what Ipswich Town were doing in their warm-ups. Harwood Bellis catches Aribo flat-footed, very sloppy from Southampton. He's a good player, Harwood Bellis, just showing a little bit of frustration there. He's captained England youth teams in the past. Morsey up towards Enciso. Harwood Bellis is quickly onto Enciso. Enciso wins it back and then has a go. Ramsdale saves it to his left side from 22 yards or so. Didn't hit it all that cleanly. It was a comfortable stop.
Yeah, he stole the ball really nicely, but he's gone to place the ball from like 23, 24 yards, and I think that required power, not placement.
Ramsdale has the ball off to our right, played for Sheffield United and Bournemouth in the past. Pretty experienced goalkeeper. Was in goal when these two sides drew 1-1 earlier on this season. And while Town won that game with Sarmiento here last year, and again it was 1-1 at St Mary's, Southampton more than played their part in both of those games, and actually 12 out of the last 13 seasons they've been in the Premier League. That was a rarity when they had one season down. Came up via the playoffs, saw off Leeds at Wembley in the spring. Broadhead almost lost the ball, in the end wins a throw-in for Ipswich Town on halfway. Nice to see him back in the starting lineup. He certainly deserved it based on his recent form, Nathan Broadhead. Davis throws the ball in field. Broadhead battles for it, gets it away from Bednarek. Morsey can't get there ahead of Wellington, who steps into midfield. He finds Onuachu. Town win it back briefly, but Kiyuste's touch lets the ball roll to Wellington. On halfway it's Ogachukwu, who's a French midfielder. Actually cost Chelsea £23 million, but spending the season on loan on the south coast. Here's the captain, Bednarek, his 8th season with the Saints. Bree plays it forward. Onuachu's on a run, but O'Shea, who's very quick, had a head start and got there first. Hutchinson bundled to the ground. The referee, Mr. Oliver, says play on because Kiyuste for Town has the ball. He finds Greaves. Still 0-0. 11 gone on BBC Radio Suffolk. Davis caught late by Walker-Peters' far side. He's felt that one, the Geordie. He's down on the deck.
Yeah, it was a bit late, but this is an interesting game. I think we've done well. I think we've sort of had some good possession. We've got into some good areas, particularly through Enciso and Liam Delap. And on the balance, it looks as if we can sort of take control of the game, but we haven't really done it just yet. And I'm not sure what we're going to get from Southampton at the moment.
Enciso gets the ball back to Twanzebe just outside of his area, off to our left. O'Shea clears the ball out of the Sir Bobby Robson penalty area. Kieran McKenna applauds the flick on from Enciso. Delap unfortunate, couldn't get onto it. Walker-Peters infield to Ogachukwu, just manages to prod it beyond Morsey. In steps Harwood Bellis to the left-hand side for Wellington. Wellington keeps the ball in, tries to cross it into the Town box. Cannons though off of Hutchinson. Hutchinson then just pings it off Grombeck. And must have come back off Hutchinson. It's out for a throw into Southampton outside the Ipswich area.
Yeah, they're sort of a lively outfit, but already I feel that what they've lost with the new manager is their ability to keep possession and dominate the game with possession.
It was all about possession under Russell Martin, but without the purpose. Wellington with a short throw. The Southampton fans find their voice. Here's Onuachu, the Nigerian. Reverse ball to Grombeck on his debut. Plays it against Kiyuste. Cleared away by O'Shea. Not very well. Out on this near side, the Southampton left. And it's Harwood Bellis who quickly gets the ball off the cone, the replacement ball, and hands it to Wellington. Wellington back to Harwood Bellis, who's been promoted to the Premier League the last 2 summers, and with Burnley and then Southampton. He was on loan at St Mary's last season, now a permanent fixture. Here is Walker-Peters, one of the best right backs in the division last season, for me the Championship. Across his backline, Bree, who was on loan here from Aston Villa a few seasons ago. Grombeck infield to Onuachu. Back it goes to Ogachukwu. Down the right for Southampton. Walker-Peters coming forward, yet to test Ipswich Town. Checks in field, gives it to Fernandes. The Portuguese crosses to the far post. Up goes Muric. Good handling, that'll do his confidence the world of good.
Yeah, that's very good. You know, that was a good cross, a deep cross. He had to sort of almost sort of backpedal a little bit to go and gather that ball. He's sort of taken the cross almost on the far side of his 6-yard box, so that's a good take.
I mentioned Everton 2-0 up earlier on. Forest beating Brighton 7-0. What a scoreline that was. Bournemouth-Liverpool looks like it could be a heck of a game at the Vitality Stadium. Both sides in terrific form. Newcastle at home to Fulham today. Later on, Wolves play Aston Villa in a Midlands derby. 0-0 as Leif Davis goes on a run down the far side. Excellent from him. Eventually gets the final touch on the ball, says Michael Oliver. He's complaining about that call to throw into Southampton underneath their supporters.
Yeah, it's a good positive run by Leif Davis. You know, he might not be able to sort of get forward too much down the sides, you know, but You know, that's a good run by him. You know, there's one or two nice contributions from our players so far.
He's predicting a tasty game when he spoke to us yesterday, Leif Davis. Also talking about the competition, the fact that Connor Townsend's keeping him on his toes. He had a very good second half at Anfield last week, Townsend, when Davis went off sick at half-time. Very little between them in terms of defensive qualities. Maybe an argument to suggest Townsend's better, but in terms of going forward and creating chances, that will always keep Leif in the side. Here is Jacob Greaves. Davis on the far side. Only Trent Alexander-Arnold's created more chances in the division than him. Headed forward by Southampton, cleared up and square by O'Shea. One bounce, hooked forward by Leif Davis on that far side. Just bounces out of play for a throw-in to Southampton.
They're just sort of beginning to get a little bit of not control of the game, Southampton, but they're actually having more of the ball now than they did in the very early stages.
These are the last two clubs to have back-to-back promotions from League One to the Premier League. Southampton, when they did that, they actually finished 14th in their first Premier League season. That was quite some achievement. Now it's with Ramsdale outside of the D off to our right, disguised his pass to the left, and the tall player Aribo goes back to Harwood Bellis, square along the edge of the Southampton box off to our right. They've got it with Bree far side. You're listening to full match commentary on BBC Radio Suffolk. Walker-Peters tried to play the 1-2 with Fernandez, but Walker-Peters was taken out. It's a Southampton throw. As the Ipswich Town fans rediscover their voice.
Yeah, just looking down at our shape of our team, and Enciso is definitely trying to link with Liam Delap as much as possible. Nathan Broadhead is coming off the left touchline a lot, whereas Murray Hutchinson this side is definitely sticking to the touchline.
Ball fired out near side by Ogachukwu. Not quite sure what he was intending there, but it didn't work out. Went to the analysts underneath us. Throw to Axel Tuanzebe. 16.5 gone. Ipswich Town making 4 changes pre-kick-off. Muric, Kayuste and Ciso and Broadhead all into the side. Walton injured as well as Burns. Phillips and Philogene both on the bench. In goes Wellington on Hutchinson. Morsey loses the ball to Grumbeck. Kayuste turns away from Fernandez. Brought down, but again the referee plays an advantage because it went to a blue shirt, that of Broadhead. In the centre of the field, Kayuste, lovely ball forward to Enciso, skips away from Bree. Enciso still has the ball, a couple of step-overs, gets the edge of the box, left-footed hits one, might have come back off of Broadhead. Exciting talent, right into the heart of this game for Town. Here he is again, Enciso on loan from Brighton. So Town have made their 2 loan signings from English clubs. Can't have more than that in the Premier League. There won't be a loan arrival from another English club on Monday before that deadline of 11 o'clock. Hutchinson up against the blonde-haired Grumbeck, goes back to the halfway line, and O'Shea to Broadhead, lovely touch around the corner from Broadhead to Enciso. Broadhead's taken out by Harwood Bellis. Free kick, that was nice link-up play between Broadhead and Enciso.
Yeah, it was brilliant play. It was a terrific little touch around the corner by Broadhead to Enciso, but I do think that in the end he didn't fancy that he would get on the end of it, and there was a little touch, not much, but he's got a nice free kick from it, and it's a great angle on this ball.
Enciso taking this free kick for Ipswich Town. It's a good 30+ yards out. With the help of a colleague, he knocks it into the Southampton area really well, headed away by Harwood Bellis against his former Manchester City colleague Delap. And Ciso knocks it back into the Southampton area, headed away by Bednarek as far as Kayuste, but it's Onuachu who gets onto it. Delap brings it down, cleared away not very far by Southampton, can't quite clear the lines, but then Fernandez gets the better of Davis and tries to prod it into the path of Walker-Peters. Didn't get enough toe on the ball, and Greaves was there to cover for Ipswich, who have it 0-0 inside the centre circle with O'Shea. Told me a couple of weeks ago how much he needs to contribute, get his first goal at some stage for Ipswich Town. 4 last season, I think, for Burnley. Ball cleared out by Southampton outside of their area. It's going to be a throw in which Axel Tuanzebe will take for Ipswich Town. He's in partnership with Amari Hutchinson down the right. No, in the end, he's leaving it to Jens Kayuste. Greaves and O'Shea are jogging forward into the box off to our right-hand side. Jens Kiyuste. He's lining up this throw for Ipswich Town into the Southampton area off to our right in the 20th minute, 0-0. Forward comes Kiyuste, it comes towards the near post. The flick header-on's a good one, nodded off by Bednarek as far as Moores, who brings it down for Davis. Davis inside the box as he was trying to set himself for a shot. Kyle Walker-Peters was straight in there, and the ball's out to Enciso. Enciso knocks the ball into the Southampton area. Wellington gets a shout. Obviously understands English well enough, and he ducks underneath it. Goal kick.
Yeah, the long throw routine carried a little bit of a threat. We put 5 players in the box to challenge for the first ball. We had a ring of sort of arc of 3 on the edge of the box for anything that wasn't really completely cleared, and that's where we won the ball, and there was a possibility of a shot to come in from there, and so that's good organisation, but we didn't quite carry it through.
One stat that staggered me when I was doing my research for this game is that Juric was only the second Premier League manager to lose his first 6 games in charge. The other one was Mick McCarthy at Sunderland, and he lost his first 14, which I found absolutely gobsmacking. I had no idea about a start Mick made there. Southampton inside the Ipswich area. Into the centre comes the header, and a shot, and a goal! It was deflected, the ball into the centre. Fernandez was involved, and then the left-footed effort from Aribo deceived Muric, and from nowhere in the 21st minute, it's Southampton who strike first in this massive game at the bottom of the Premier League. It's Ipswich Town 0, Southampton 1.
Yeah, that's got to be a lack of concentration, really, because Southampton weren't really carrying any real threat until they managed to get a player in possession of the ball in our penalty area. His cross is definitely deflected, but there's a couple of players, Southampton players, who could have got on the end of that, and you've got to say our marking wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. It was off Greaves. It bounced in front of Muric, and I don't know. Before I'm critical of the goalkeeper, I've got to look at this again. Could he have done any better? Oh, it wasn't far away from Aro Muric. He's going to get stick for that, I'm afraid. It came off of Greaves.
No, it's a poor attempt of a save, but there is a player close to him, but I don't think close enough to him to. It certainly wasn't in his vision. But did he put him off because of his presence? I would say no again. I think it's a little bit of a mistake, but we can't say that the marking's any good either. You know, 2 players could have actually hit that shot, and that's not good enough.
No, it's not. Enciso, nice turn, trying to find Delap, deflects on the Southampton player and goes back towards Ramsdale. No less than convincing from the goalkeeper again, sadly. 22 minutes played in this game, and it's Southampton who lead it by 1-0. TV cameras closing in on Kieran McKenna down below us, and all the noise at the moment is from the Southampton fans. But remember, late drama in the last 2 meetings between these 2 teams, as the ball is kicked by Ramsdale out far side for a throw-in to Ipswich. Greaves was the unfortunate player who deflected the cross in. He's kind of stretched his leg out behind him to prevent the ball going centrally from Fernandez. Long old way to go, still 3/4 of this game, in fact. Harwood Bellis with a header down, but it's to Enciso. He's been a real live wire, trying to get Hutchinson through. Hutchinson gets onto the ball, brought down by Harwood Bellis. It's going to be a free kick. No free kick, says the referee. Got enough on the ball. He was in a good spot, Michael Oliver, a very, very good referee, judged by many to be England's finest. Long kick from Ramsdale. O'Shea battling with Onuachu. The ball drops down to Greaves. Looked like a decent call. Here is Kiyuste, real edge to this game at the moment. Good strong running from the Swede. Brilliant from Kiyuste. Gives it to Hutchinson just inside the Southampton area. Has Axel Twanzavy on an overlap. Crosses towards Broadhead. Broadhead nods it down to Delap on the stretch. He can't hook it goalwards. It's over the bar.
That was a great attack, and it started with a terrific surging run from Kiyuste right through the middle. They were struggling to sort of dispossess him, and then we managed to get the ball to Murray Hutchinson. And I think his pass was intended for Leif Davis, who was making a superb run right down the back. But Broadhead was the one that's headed the ball back into the danger zone, and Liam Delap is unlucky not to get that on target. But that's a good move, it's a good response, I think that we've been unlucky that Southampton have taken the lead because we were carrying the threat. They have taken the lead, Southampton, but that is a good response by Town.
Yeah, very good. Delap was very unlucky as well. Ramsdale wouldn't have known anything about it. If it had been on target, he wouldn't have got there. O'Shea did well again whilst Nick was chatting against the taller Onuachu. I think plenty in the air, Dara O'Shea. Throw in on the far side, the Ipswich left in this first half. As they tend to do, they'll be playing towards the Sir Bobby Robson stand in the second half. Here is Aaron Muric, just got to put that goal to bed, forget about it. He goes long, but it's an easily one header by Bednarek. On halfway, Bree finds Fernandez, little flick to the right hand side of Walker-Peters, infield, but Kayuste intercepts on the slide. Davis gets it back to Muric inside his 6-yard area. He then finds Dara O'Shea. O'Shea pings it off the head of Onuachu, and had a play for a throw into Axel Tuanzebe.
I think Harry Muric has got to get over it. You know, he's probably deep down thinking that he has made a mistake because he looked really nervous about receiving that ball there. He didn't really want to pass short, but he knew he had to.
The TV cameras zoomed straight in on Muric after the goal as well, which tells a tale. What I have to say is that only Spurs have dropped more points from winning positions. It's the norm. Well, it's become a fairly regular thing for Southampton to go 1-0 up in games. As we all know, they've only converted one of those into 3 points so far. But Town in a game, but playing well enough, Ipswich. The better team, really, but it is Southampton who lead this game by 1-0. But they're certainly not going to be confident about holding on to that lead, far from it. Here is Muric. He's had very little to do in this game. Not that Ramsdale's been overly worked either, it has to be said. Davis goes back to Greaves. Of course, Town have got creative and attack-minded players on the bench, if needs be, as this game progresses. The likes of Philogene, Hurst, Jack Clark back in the 20. Town trying to play this ball out. Delap has it, gives it to Davis. Davis with a smidgen of the halfway line far side. In comes the toe of Bree, then Walker-Peters. Broadhead's back on it. A couple of short little touches from him. Regain possession. Given away by Bednarek. Town can't find Delap. Aribo, the goal scorer, rolls it a good 40 yards back to Ramsdale. He'll curl a scoop pass to the far side, and Bree goes back to Ramsdale, and Ciso showed a little bit of interest in this, but Ramsdale's clearance is true up to the halfway line. Ogachukwu heads the ball down to Grumbeck. Looked like a handball. The referee says no. Southampton play on down the left hand side with Wellington trying to get an early ball into the Ipswich area. Don't know quite what the target was there, but he's got it back, which may be lucky for him. Eventually his cross comes in towards Onuachu, back to goal, 16 yards from the goal line. Grumbeck recycles it to Aribo. Ogachukwu, who's a big tall player, the number 26. Here's Aribo to the overlapping Wellington. Cross towards the far stick. There's a player running in. It's Walker-Peters. Ball doesn't quite sit down for him. Southampton number 2 pulls it back to Bree. Bree with a first-time cross away from Onuachu, headed by Tuanzebe. Not a square by Enciso. Finding Broadhead, playing with gloves on. Broadhead gets it back to Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe brought down by Onuachu. Free kick Ipswich.
Yeah, this is an important part of the game because this goal has given Southampton a little bit of something to sort of boost their spirits a little bit, and they're looking quite lively. But we're sort of like I feel we're still a little bit in charge of the game. But we've got to get it right from now on. It's got to be good, it's got to be slick, it's got to be played now with confidence.
And Ciso down the middle away from Delap, easily dealt with by Harwood Bellis. Definitely Muric seen as being at fault for the goal. That's a general consensus by the sounds of things. A couple of people have texted me, haven't watched it on replay. Goodness me. Aribo, it's the last thing he or Ipswich Town needed. Up to the halfway line, Onuachu to the far side, gives the ball to Walker-Peters. Bit more of a spring in Southampton's collective step, having this 1-goal cushion. I believe they can go on and win this game. Finally their first away victory of the season it would be. Town, of course, have other things in their mind. Wellington up towards Onuachu. It was actually Aribo who headed it in field towards Onuachu. Got some tall players in the Southampton team. Broadhead to Hutchinson, gets away from Grumby, gets a little bit of good fortune as he does, finds Kayuste, now just in the centre circle to Greaves. Davis has made an advance run far side, and Ciso takes on a couple of players, beats both of them, exciting from him. Then Ogachukwu still has the ball, and Ciso, great play inside the area, fabulous run from him. Davis with a cross, hits the first defender, Kyle Walker-Peters, no penalty, tries another attempt, and loops up into the air, don't even get a corner. It's prevented from being so by Ramsdale.
No, I don't think it's a penalty without really being able to see it clearly, but it's a fabulous run by Enciso. It really was. I mean, how can you run with a ball that close to your feet and not trip over? I don't know. I mean, it's brilliant, absolutely top class.
Ramsdale taking his time over this kick. It's 1-0 Southampton in the 30th minute of this Premier League game. Aribo with the goal after 21 minutes. Less than convincing work from Ipswich Town at the back in terms of him and Grumbeek lining up to hit it from about 12 yards out. Greaves fires the ball down the left-hand side, too much of it on it, even for the pace of Davis.
Good run from Leif Davis. I mean, it wasn't really going clear to start with, but he just keeps going, Leif Davis. He never sort of decides, no, this is not the right thing to be doing. He just keeps going. And in the end, a decent ball from Jacob Greaves, and he would have been away.
20 minutes gone. High kick from Ramsdale over halfway towards O'Shea. Touchdown by Onuachu, looking for Grumbeek. In goes Harwood Bellis. Played through the middle by Broadhead. Can Delap get there? Yes, he can! Liam Delap one-on-one with the goalkeeper! It's 1-1! His barren spell is over! 11 games before this without a goal from open play, but that's his 9th of the season, and it might be as big as any. It's Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1.
Yeah, he seized on a big error in the centre of the pitch there. He's gone through, he's drawing the keeper towards him. He's got a run down his right-hand side, and I'm not sure, I think it might have been Broadhead or somebody going down the right-hand side, or his own Murray Hutchinson. I'm thinking, can you possibly just play it to him? No, I'm going to score, I need to score, I can score, and he just goes one-to-one with the keeper and very nonchalantly just rolls it underneath the keeper, very nonchalant.
So Culp just took it like he's been taking his penalties in recent games. This one from open play follows in the footsteps of his dad, who scored in the last Premier League meeting here between these two sides. That was actually a win for Southampton when Rory scored. Liam is back on the score sheet, headed by Onuachu. Then Ogachukwu forward for Southampton. Up in the air, wins it well is Kiyuste. Kiyuste battling aerially with Fernandez. Broadhead goes back to Greaves. 32 minutes gone, both sides on the score sheet. You just felt he would score that. Given away by Ipswich in midfield. Ogachukwu trying to take on Kiyuste. Gets it to Grumbeek, up towards Onuachu. Southampton building on the right. Walker-Peters gets it from Bree outside the Ipswich area, taking on Leif Davis. No room for a cross just yet. Back it goes to Bree on the far side. He gives it to Ogachukwu. Bree once more. Back towards Bednarek. Well, they do tend to concede. Southampton conceded at least 3 in their last 4 Premier League games. One of those a 5-goal defeat. Grumbeek on his debut shoots against O'Shea. Back to Grumbeek again. He has another go, but his body's in the way. Good defending, I think, again from Dara O'Shea. Here is Liam Delap. Things very exciting in this game. Broadhead's making a run through to Broadhead. Brilliant from Delap. Broadhead, surely! He's missed it against Ramsdale. We'll get another chance. No, he won't. Oh, he tried to lift it over him. Ramsdale was big enough, and in the end it's actually come off Broadhead, out for a goal kick. But what a chance for Ipswich Town to score twice in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's unlucky really. I mean, it's a fabulous run, supporting run. The first goal, I got the players wrong. It was Enciso who supported Liam Delap when he put the ball in the back of the net. And then this is a great run. He's just seen Liam Delap getting control of the ball, and off he goes. He gets the goal side of them, and I think the unfortunate thing is probably it was on his left foot. He's a right-footed player. That's the only excuse I can give him. He should have scored.
Onuachu grazes the back of his head. Morsey it is who punts it forward. That's twice Ipswich Town players in the last few minutes have got him behind the Southampton back line. Delap scored. Broadhead unfortunately didn't, and we're still 1-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Kieran.
Yeah, they've done this well. Liam Delap's that central position, target man. We knew Enciso was going to support him, but Nathan Broadhead has come off the left touchline to do it as well. So Liam is getting so much support.
But a weak defending from Greaves has given Southampton the ball, but it's still in the middle third with Ugachukwu. He goes back on the far side to Bree. Started his career at Barnsley. Came from Luton when he joined Southampton for $750,000. O'Shea launches it forward. The flick on header from Enciso. Pills for handball against Bednarek. Nothing doing, says the referee. Ramsdale has it inside his penalty box. The number 30 finds Bree. Walker-Peters faced by Davis. Opts to go safety first, back to Ramsdale. 34.5 minutes played in this Premier League encounter. The team's currently in 19th and 20th place in the table. Walker-Peters and Bree holding on to the ball far side. Then Bree skims it up to Onuachu. Back to Fernandez on halfway. Fernandez is clattered into by Greaves. It's going to be a Southampton ball as Fernandez ends up against one of the advertising boards.
Yeah, we've actually responded well. I don't think we deserved to go behind. We went behind, and that gave Southampton that little bit of feeling that maybe it's going to be a good day for them, and they sort of responded to it. But our response has been really good, and since the goal we could have actually been in front.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been undeserved necessarily. They've lost 19 of their 23 games, Southampton. 1 win, 3 draws. Oh, great feat from Ugachukwu. That's terrific play. Out to the left-hand side, Wellington. Great play from Hutchinson to get back. Only so much, though, and it comes from Wellington. The cross into Onuachu with the header, but that's easy for Muric. Got a second bite at Wellington after Hutchinson had made a challenge on him initially.
Well, they are breaking really well, you know, and actually are carrying a bit of a threat, but the more I look at this game, the more I feel that there's a great opportunity for us to actually win it.
I do as well. I think in Broadhead and Enciso and Delap, 2-3 players as good as anything out there so far. Here is Muric. How relieved he will be with that goal from Liam Delap. Cleared by Muric to the halfway line. Bednarek goes over the top of Enciso. Walker-Peters has it. Ugachukwu done some nice stuff. He hits it down the centre circle to Harwood-Bellis on the left-hand side. Wellington back to halfway into Rebo, who got the first goal of this game. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Here is Ugachukwu. So Rebo really has got ice in his veins when he gets those chances. Delap, or as I said, he's 2 penalty spot goals as well. It's been very cool, calm and clinical when he's put those 3 goals away. Here is Rebo, clipped from behind by Enciso. Harwood-Bellis then finds Bednarek. So 2 goals at Goodison Park. Everton 2-0 up against Leicester, and 2 goals here, 1 apiece. Bree, edge of his area, gives it back towards Ramsdale. Southampton at the moment just trying to dampen the Ipswich Town flames. Undoubtedly Town with the momentum. Ramsdale long but loose with that kick. Cushioned header back by Tuanzebe's perfect for Muric.
Yeah, good play, good covering play by Tuanzebe. We sort of look okay at the back, you know, we're not sort of being tested too much, but just would like to see a little bit of Sam Morsey in the midfield, you know, just to carry the ball a little bit more.
Great from Hutchinson, riding the challenge of Wellington, crossing halfway. Here he comes, the number 20, gets to within, 10 yards of the penalty area, allows Broadhead to carry on with the ball, but he's robbed by Fernandez. Unlucky, nothing happened about that one. O'Shea gets in there ahead of Onuachu, but his stomp challenge reaches Rebo. Down the left for Southampton, here is Onuachu. Big number 32, short infield to Rebo, up towards Wellington. Well, I've asked way too much of him. That was simple for O'Shea to get his body in the way. Wellington's challenge sees the ball go out for a goal kick off the deck to Aaron Muric.
Yeah, I do feel that we're the better side out there today, and we just got to make sure we want to get in front. That's what we need to do. I think that will give us a load of confidence just to sit on the ball a little bit more. We're having to sort of play at pace all the time to get ourselves into that leading position. You know, so another goal would do us the world of good.
6 points after 23 games from Southampton. That's the lowest tally ever at this stage in the Premier League season. Oh, and Cissok's accidentally taken one in the face off the knee of Harwood Bellis. He's down on halfway. Play continues. He's going to have to get back up to his feet. Ipswich have it far side with Davis. It was totally accidental from Harwood Bellis. He's up on his feet, and Cisso. He's going to be all right. Morsey gives the ball to Tuanzebe, and Cisso wants it underneath us. He's got it down the right-hand side, wants to try and take on Grombeck, who kept his eye on the ball, and Cisso gets it back from Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe coming forward from right full-back, edge of the area, brought down clumsily by Wellington. That's a poor challenge, a yellow card for him, and a free kick from Town, and a good position for a left-footer. Leif Davis fancies this one.
Yeah, it's an excellent position, it really is, and I just looking at the left back again, it's a bad challenge. I do think he's a bit of a gambler on his tackling, and he's got caught with that one. That's without question. It's a bad tackle. It's a bad free kick to give away. You know, this is a great angle.
It's going to be on a yellow card for the next 50 minutes. Wellington. It'll be music to the ears of Amari Hutchinson, who can have a right old run at him.
Yeah, I think there's another foul in Wellington as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's a concern for Southampton. Jack Stevens, the club captain, who plays centre-half or left-back, is on the bench if Van Jurich got overly concerned. The referee's just painted out his white line. The Southampton wall's behind it. Town trailed 1-0 to Southampton. It's now 1-1 at Portman Road. Ipswich have a chance to score the third goal of the game from a free kick outside the Saints box. It's then Cisso who knocks it low towards the side netting, trying to catch out Ramsdale.
Yeah, I've seen that one work before. It's, you know, if that wall is just a little bit too sort of in line with the post, you can bend it round, and I've seen them just creep into the near post. It was unlucky.
Harwood Bellis has gone down off the ball. Just on come the Southampton physios. Aaron Ramsdale and Cisso have a word with one another. Town coming across on this near side for a little drinks break, and a word from Kieran McKenna, Martin Pert, and Mark Hudson also there as the Southampton players group around Ivan Juric. 4 minutes of this first half to go. Kieran McKenna focusing on Jens Kajuste in particular. So yeah, a Rebo made it 1-0 Southampton after 21 minutes. Some poor goalkeeping from Aaron Muric saw that one go beyond him. The lead lasted for just 10. Delap was put through, clear in on goal, and just calmly stroked the ball beyond Ramsdale. Town had a chance to make it 2-1 not long afterwards. Similar play, it was Delap who was the potential creator, threading a nicely weighted ball through to Broadhead, who took a couple of touches but then couldn't quite lift it over Ramsdale, and that's why we are 1-1. Harwood Bellis hobbling off on this near side. Difficult to tell from his body language as to whether he's going to be okay to continue. Ramsdale anyway is placing the ball down off to our right. Play about to resume, so at least a couple of minutes, if not more, are going to be added on at the end of this first half. Still all to play for in this huge game. The bottom end of the Premier League table. Here's Ramsdale, the Southampton goalkeeper. Harwood Bellis is going to be fine to come on. Stevens not required. Ramsdale fires the yellow ball from right to left. Onuachu crouching down, tries to chest it back to halfway. O'Shea was being overly rough in his challenge from behind, says Mr. Oliver. It's a free kick to Southampton inside the Ipswich Town half. Still Harwood Bellis waits to rejoin the action. Most of his managerial career in Italy has Ivan Juric, who's watching on to see if his team, in the shape of either Wellington or Fernandez, can create something from this long-range free kick. It's Fernandez who knocks it diagonally towards the edge of the Ipswich area, headed away by Davis. Southampton get it back with Bree in a central area. He just swipes it to the right, and Walker Peters, held up by Broadhead, goes back to halfway, and Bree once again closed down by Delap. Bree gives it to Wellington. Wellington curls the ball back under pressure from Enciso to Ramsdale.
Yeah, they weren't comfortable there at all when they were playing that ball around.
No, they weren't. Southampton breaking with Fernandez. There's a slip from Greaves. Fernandez, can he get through? No, Kajuste is there. Terrific covering back from the Swede. Greaves stumbled and slid and then got himself in a bit of a pickle, so well done Jens Kajuste, as Greaves just checks his studs there. He was almost embarrassed by Fernandez.
Yeah, and Kajuste very sort of sensibly just played it out of play. That was a desperate situation.
Throw in for Southampton. Wellington is going to take it outside the Ipswich area. A minute shy of the half-time whistle, or at least the board going up to tell us about the added-on time. Town get a throw in midway inside their half, which Axel Tuanzebe is going to be taken. We're 1-1 at the moment on BBC Radio Suffolk. Another full house at Portman Road. Morsey has Grumbeek for company, digs the ball out to Tuanzebe, who goes back to O'Shea, wide right, just outside of his area, goes into the box and plays it across the area. It's a risky one, but it does reach Davis. His touch was a bit too heavy. He has managed to keep it in far side. He finds Greaves. Greaves just belts it away up towards Enciso with a flick header on. Morsey sees it graze the back of his head. Clever back heel from Delap to find Morsey. To the right-hand side, Hutchinson. Ipswich Town pouring forward in blue from right to left. Hutchinson, couple of step over shoots deflected straight at Ramsdale, who spilt it, but then gathered it right in front of Liam Delap.
He got his shot away really well. I didn't think he had daylight to get it through, to get it on target. There was a good sort of run around him by Liam Delap, but I don't think there was a pass on, not really for him, and he comes in and he has a crack straight at the goalkeeper.
Cleared long by Ramsdale. Flick on header from Onuachu is just cushioned back so nonchalantly by Tuanzebe to Muric. 3 minutes of added on time to be played at the end of this first half. Greaves out to Kayusta, just outside the Ipswich area. He goes back towards Muric. Hasn't had anything to do since conceding that opening goal. Breeze touched down towards Harwood-Bellis. He's still in a little bit of pain, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Just screaming to the heavens there. Just annoyed at feeling so uncomfortable. Here he is again on the ball. Half-time can't come soon enough for him. He certainly doesn't want the ball back from Bednarek. He's given it to the pole and told him to go far side and Bree down the line to Walker-Peters. Town, of course, this time next week in action at the CBS Arena in round 4 of the FA Cup, away to Coventry City. Their next league game is away to Aston Villa 2 weeks today. Like in the third round, that game has to be decided on the day in the West Midlands. Bree up towards Onuachu, can't get a hold of it. Straight through to Muric. 1 minute of the added on 3 already up. Morsey goes long towards Delap in the air, needs support, headed down by Bednarek, only as far as Broadhead. Broadhead tries to hold on to the ball, can't under pressure from Ugachukwu. Wellington up towards Onuachu, headed down from Kayuste, and his second touch finds Morsey back to Kayuste. Good link-up play between the two midfielders. Not the best of clearances from Harwood-Bellis, who is just gritting his teeth and desperate for that half-time whistle. The whistle now is for a foul on O'Shea on halfway.
Yeah, I think the Southampton, sort of quite impressed with the Southampton sort of attitude with the league position they're in. They're really they're not giving it up. They're having a good go, but we are the best team out there.
And Ciso to Broadhead. Now Hutchinson, in comes his cross. That looks a really good one. Cleared away, not very far. Broadhead! No, not quite. Delap. Couple of bites at it there for Ipswich Town, cleared away by Southampton. Broadhead just couldn't get his shot away quickly enough. The real chance was for him. Town have the ball again on the far side with Davis, keen to get a half-time lead. Now Jacob Greaves on the halfway line, 1 minute to do that. Greaves finds Enciso on the far side of the field. He's had a very good first ever half at Portman Road. Jacob Greaves finds Jens Kayuste. Back it goes to O'Shea. Now it's with Tuanzebe. Town the better side for me in this first half. Tuanzebe can't beat Wellington. Grumbeek has the ball through the legs of Enciso. Finds Onuachu. Taking a long old time to turn, the Nigerian. Did cost £18 million a couple of Januaries ago. Onuachu was on loan last season in Turkey. Far side, Southampton have the ball in the dying seconds of this first half. It's Aribo putting Walker-Peters in behind. Low ball into the box. O'Shea has to make it, and he does. Excellent defending again from Dara O'Shea, who's having a good debut season at Ipswich Town. Like what I've seen of the Irishman. Here is Delap, 9 goals for him this season. And that's it for the first half here at Portman Road. Honours even between these two sides at the wrong end of the Premier League table. Southampton led 1-0, but Liam Delap's 9th of the season has brought parity at the halfway stage. Mick Mills, what do you make of that?
Well, I think in general terms, we look the better team. We look as if we're better at passing. Our movement, our togetherness is much better. and I think we carry a little bit more of a threat. But it worries me, the fact that from a Southampton team who I think have gone backwards since I last saw them, without question. They're not as good as they were. Maybe the new way of playing is different, but it doesn't make them look as good as they used to look. They've carried a little bit too much threat for me, so it's telling me that maybe our backline are not absolutely on song, and they've got to just get themselves in gear, if you like, for this to be a good performance. Because if they can get themselves right, that back four, and not give the odd chance away to Southampton, then I think they would give the platform for the midfield and the forwards to get on and win the game. And I certainly think our forwards are capable of it. I think Liam Delap is in good form. He's in good spirits. He's being backed up beautifully by Enciso, the new signing. He's been excellent. He's given him great support. Nathan Broadhead is coming off the left touchline and also linking up with those two nicely. Amari Hutchinson is the one that just stays out wide. He gets the ball, he makes the long runs on the ball, and he can be very creative down this side. So we've got four forward players who are actually, I would say, pretty much on top of their game, and very capable of creating chances and scoring goals. So for me, it's a question of that, the back line improving slightly. The midfield, I think Cajuste is doing enough in there. I think we've got to get a little bit more from Sam Morsey, and then I think we've got the whole unit right to go on and win this game. I do believe we're going to win it. It's 1-1 at the moment. It's half-time, but I like the signs.
What have you liked of Enciso? He has had a good first half, hasn't he, at Portman Road?
Excellent. He's a little bit more like a Connor Chaplin, if you like, who plays in there, and the person he wants to play closest to and with most of the time is Liam Delap, the man that's just ahead of him. He's not quite so interested in linking up with the midfield. He'll take the ball off the midfield, but he's wanting to get turned around as quickly as possible, and he's thinking about going through the centre of the pitch, sometimes too much, because I think there have been a couple of times when he could have released the ball out to Leif Davis, who was taking up his usual nice positions down that left-hand side. But he is so positive, and I think Liam Delap is responding nicely to him as well.
I agree. Town have been the better side in this game. It's there for the taking, but at the halfway stage, it's even Stevens. Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1.
Town out of the bottom three in the live table on goal difference as Everton lead Leicester 3-0 at Goodison Park. So Leicester dropping into the bottom three as things stand, and Everton have a 9-point gap now to third bottom Leicester, who aren't going to come back in that one, surely. Elsewhere, Liverpool 1-0 up away at Bournemouth. Jacob Murphy for Newcastle. They lead Fulham by a goal to nil. Earlier today, Nottingham Forest 7, Brighton 0 at the City Ground. Forest going level on points again with second in the table Arsenal, and they've done the goal difference a world of good this afternoon as well. We'll hear from Chris Wood, who scored a hat-trick today for Forest during our half-time report. We'll go around the grounds locally though next.
He was like 5'11", rugby player-ish build, and very handsome.
Supposedly been a model. We would chat 3 or 4 times a day.
We started to be really nasty, and I knew something was up.
He was like, my heart conditions got really worse, and I have to go private, but I'm like £400 short.
What happened when you flew to Nairobi?
She'd always make up another excuse.
I didn't realise this was a scam. I thought romance scams only happened online.
Yeah. I'm Vicky Patterson, and I'm back with a brand new series of Love Bombed.
It's a very lonely crime because you honestly feel like you're the only one.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk, coming up to 5 to 4. Full second half commentary of Ipswich Town versus Southampton coming up. Town 1-1 with the Saints at the interval. Joe Aribo opening the scoring for Southampton on 21 minutes. Liam Delap levelling with his 9th of the season 10 minutes later. Locally, Needham Market leading Warrington by a goal to nil in the National League North. Luke Ingram's got that one from the penalty spot. In the Southern Premier League Central Division, Leiston hope to make it 4 wins in a row this afternoon at home to Redditch United. Let's hear from Nick Garnham at that one.
It's Leiston 0, Redditch United 0. It's goalless here at the interval in a game where Leiston had goalkeeper Billy Johnson sent off after just a quarter of an hour. Johnson was shown a straight red card for handling the ball outside the penalty area when Ollie Yun, who was 25 yards out from his own goal, tried to head the ball back to his goalkeeper, not realising he'd come out to try and claim the ball. Kyron Clements, who had scored 3 goals in his last 2 games as a striker, rather than his normal position as a centre-half, took over in goal, and his first job was to save Ryan Boo's curling free kick. Leiston almost fell behind in the 35th minute when George Quantrell had to clear an effort off the goal line following a left-wing corner. However, 6 minutes later, Fraser Alexander picked up the loose ball and sent a 25-yard shot just wide of the Redditch goal as Leiston finally registered an effort at the visitors' goal. Then just before the half-time break, Leiston's leading scorer, Jamal Loza, went on a run down the left and cut inside past 3 defenders but failed to get enough power in his shot. Considering they've been down to 10 men for half an hour, Leiston have limited Redditch to few opportunities, and there's everything to play for in the second period. Half-time at the Watson and Hillhouse Victory Road Stadium, 10-man Leiston 0, Redditch United 0.
Thanks, Nick. So Leiston goalless. Lowestoft Town, Gary Button, a goal down.
Half-time, Lowestoft Town 0, Stratford Town 1. The visitors ahead, deservedly so. Paul McCone on 41 minutes, but the Warwickshire side should have been ahead before they finally got that breakthrough just before half-time. Jake Weaver, the keeper for Stratford, comfortably dealt with the first-minute shot from the trawler boy Sam Johnson. And from Sayers' free kick in the 4th minute, Johnson fired wide from 8 yards. Robert Eagle fired well over the bar in the 9th minute, and Stratford's first chance of the afternoon quickly followed. Finlay Brennan's fluted centre found Callum Ebanks, but in space a free header went well wide. Ebanks on a run in the 19th saw the Bards front man this time shooting wide from 25 yards. Another Stratford attack saw a good run from James down the left, who cut inside but blasted well over the bar. The visitors finally went ahead 4 minutes before the break. Williams with the corner and an unmarked Paul McCone, the Stratford captain, scored from 6 yards, another free header for a 1-0 scoreline. Ebanks was denied by a good Craven block a minute later, but the ball fell to Lewis Eisen, which led to Craven then making a one-handed save to turn away for a corner. It really could have been about 3 or 4. Half-time, Lowestoft Town 0, Stratford Town 1.
Thanks, Gary. Also in the Southern Premier League this afternoon, AFC Sudbury are goalless with Kettering Town. In the Isthmian North, a couple of all-county clashes this afternoon. The leaders, Felixstowe and Walton United, behind 1-0 at Mildenhall Town. Jordan Chips with the goal. The Hall have won 3 of their last 5. Bury Town, who haven't won in 4, are 2-1 up away at bottom of the table. Ipswich Wanderers. Wanderers led through Jose De La Paz on 5 minutes. Luke Brown with both of Bury's goals, so they lead in that one. Newmarket Town aiming to make it 5 wins out of 5 this year. A 1-0 up away at Haybridge Swifts this afternoon. Oscar Dean on target for the Jockeys. Couple from the Thurlow Nunn League. Brantham going very well in the Premier Division. A 1-1 with Dereham. Cornard trailing 1-0 at home to Heacham. Walsh and the Willows leading Kirkley and Pakefield by 2-0. In the First Division North, the leaders Haverhill Rovers are on top away at Whittlesea. Quick look at the opening match in the Six Nations today. Wales, of course, thumped last night away at France 43-0. Scotland look like they're going to come through this one against Italy. They lead by 31 points to 19. It's Ireland versus England from 4:45. Let's hear from Chris Wood, the former Ipswich Town lone striker. What a season he's having at Nottingham Forest. He's up to 17 for the campaign now, scoring a hat-trick earlier in a 7-0 win for Forest at home to Brighton. And Wood's been telling the BBC it was a great response from Forest after they lost 5-0 at Bournemouth in their previous league match.
Look, yeah, I mean, we had to react. We had to show a bit of character and show what we're about, a bit of fight. Yeah, what a difference a week can make, and it's been superb today.
It was chalk and cheese. I mean, how would you describe it?
Look, I don't know about that. They cause problems, especially first 15, 20 minutes. They're a good side, and they know they can punish teams. I think we were just clinical when we got our chances, and the boys done extremely well in the first half. And it was all about seeing it out. We had Southampton here who got back into the game, and we kind of let up, and we didn't want that to happen again today.
A hat-trick for you. How pleased are you to get 3?
Look, yeah, it's really nice. Hat-tricks don't come around in the Prem too often, but Am put 2 on a plate for me, which were absolutely fantastic. He hat-trick of assists. I mean, he's fantastic. He's done extremely well, and then Morgs winning the pin, so made it an easier day.
How aware were you beforehand of your great scoring record against Brighton? Is it part of your muscle memory? Is it part of your preparation for the game?
To be fair, I forgot all about it. I know they're probably the club I've scored the most against, but it's not about that. It's about just being ready and alive when the chances come, and luckily they did come.
Chris Wood speaking earlier after scoring a hat-trick in the lunchtime kick-off today, which finished Nottingham Forest 7, Brighton 0 in the 3 o'clock kick-off. Just to recap, Liverpool 1-0 up at Bournemouth, Everton leading Leicester 3-0, Newcastle ahead 1-0 at home to Fulham, and in our main feature on BBC Radio Suffolk, Ipswich Town level with Southampton at 1-1. We'll bring you first half highlights in a moment. Let's hear briefly, though, from the New England rugby captain Maro Itoje after he replaced Jamie George. England up against Ireland in Dublin in the Six Nations from 4:45 this afternoon.
One thing about this is not all on me. I guess I'm captain now, but it's not all on me. We have a group of wise and experienced players which will be sharing the load, because no captain, and myself including, that can do it all by themselves. I can't do everything. So and we have people like Ellis, people like Marcus, Slady, the Currys, Benal, and I'm probably missing out a few others there. We will together get this team right.
You're not a ranter and raver. You're not someone to particularly raise your voice or to swear the house down. Will you hand that round to over to someone else, that kind of Ellis Genge's role, or how will that work just in the changing room beforehand?
Well, I'll definitely, if there are swearing obligations, I'll probably hand that over to one of the 14 other members of the of the team that does do that. But every player has their strengths. Every player has things that they need to work on, and whether it's a player, whether it's a coach, whether it's a broadcaster, dare I might say, everyone has those things, and it's just about, I like to think I'm a reasonably self-aware person.
Maro Itoje, the new England captain, all set for England's opener in the Six Nations later today, a 4:45 start in Dublin. They face the defending champions Ireland. Full second half commentary on the way from Portman Road. Ipswich Town versus Southampton is another thriller.
Morsey up towards Enciso. Harwood Bellis is quickly onto Enciso. Enciso wins it back and then has a go. Ramsdale saves it to his left side from 22 yards or so. Didn't hit it all that cleanly. It was a comfortable stop. Southampton inside the Ipswich area. Into the centre comes the header and a shot and a goal. It was deflected, the ball into the centre. Fernandez was involved, and then the left-footed effort from Aribo deceived Muric, and from nowhere in the 21st minute, it's Southampton who strike first in this massive game at the bottom of the Premier League. It's Ipswich Town 0, Southampton 1. Played through the middle by Broadhead. Can Delap get there? Yes, he can! Liam Delap one-on-one with the goalkeeper! It's 1-1! His barren spell is over. 11 games before this without a goal from open play, but that's his 9th of the season, and it might be as big as any. It's Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1. Here is Liam Delap. Things very exciting in this game. Broadhead's making a run through to Broadhead. Brilliant from Delap. Broadhead, surely! He's missed it against Ramsdale. We'll get another chance. No, he won't. Oh, he tried to lift it over him. Ramsdale was big enough, and in the end, it's actually come off Broadhead, out for a goal kick. But what a chance for Ipswich Town to score twice in 2 minutes. Clever back heel from Delap to find Morsey. To the right-hand side, Hutchinson. Ipswich Town pouring forward in blue from right to left. Hutchinson, a couple of step over shoots, deflected straight at Ramsdale, who spilt it, but then gathered it right in front of Liam Delap. And Ciso to Broadhead. Now Hutchinson, in comes his cross. That looks a really good one. Cleared away, not very far. Broadhead! No, not quite. Delap. Couple of bites at it there for Ipswich Town. Cleared away by Southampton. Broadhead just couldn't get his shot away quickly enough. The real chance was for him.
Are we set for more late drama in a match involving Ipswich Town and Southampton? 1-1 at the interval. Let's rejoin Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley with the second half about to get underway.
Almost certainly, Graham. One change at half-time for Southampton. Harwood Bellis has gone off injured. On comes Stevens, like for like on the left-hand side of their back three. No changes for Town. We'll give you the full run through when we get a break and play. What I can tell you is that Town in blue, white, blue, playing from right to left against the yellow shirts and socks with the black shorts in between of Southampton. Broadhead has the ball on the left-hand side. The referee says play on. Bills from Southampton. The players being impeded. They should clear the ball out of their area. Their captain Bednarek just boots it to the halfway line, brought down by O'Shea. Tries to find Hutchinson. Wellington thought there was an opportunity to nick the ball away from him. It's a Southampton free kick for a trip by Hutchinson. So Town got Murich in goal, and it's Twanzebe, O'Shea, Greaves, Davis, Morsey and Kayuste, Hutchinson and Cecil Broadhead. Delap's up top, the goal scorer. On the bench, Slicker, Taylor, Hurst, Phillips, Godfrey, Johnson, Townsend, Philogene and Jack Clark. We get another break and tell you all about the Southampton team. Keeper Ramsdale in all orange launches the ball long from left to right. Onuachu wins the header against O'Shea, which he didn't do very often in that first half, despite the fact he's a fair few inches taller than the Ipswich Town number 26. Southampton have it with Stevens in the middle third. Wasn't taken with them at all in the first half. As a side, Southampton, I can see why they are at the foot of the table. That's not to say they can't go on and score again in the second half, though it has to be said, but what I would say 100% is that this is a heck of a chance for Town this afternoon if they up their game a little bit. The better side in that first half, Ipswich Town. Ball out for a goal kick to Murich. The Ramsdale's the visiting goalkeeper. His back three is now Bree, Bednarek and Stevens. Walker-Peters down the right. Wellington on a yellow down the left. Ugachukwu and Aribo, their goal scorer in the middle. And then Grumbeck and Fernandez support Onuachu, their leading light up top. On the bench, McCarthy, Bella Ketchup, Sugawara, Smallbone, Lallana, Sulemana. Here come Ipswich Town. I'll break away 1 second. Town on the attack, first time in this second half. Broad, it's with Delap. Delap rolls the ball back to Davis on this near side, the Ipswich left. There is Kayuste. Now Greaves, Dibbling and Armstrong, the other two Southampton substitutes. Two players who we might well see at some stage if things stay as they are or get worse for Southampton. And Cecil to Broadhead. Had that really good chance to make it 2-1. Broadhead trying to switch of play, but it's straight onto the forehead of Wellington. Never had enough height or pace on it to reach Hutchinson. And Cecil, a little header down, but it's Wellington who nods it away. Aribo trying to take on Morsey. Gets it back to Bednarek. That was risky. Stevens, poor from him. Controlled by Broadhead. Nervy from Southampton. Ipswich with the crowd behind them. Have the ball with Kayuste. Yeah, it wouldn't be Ipswich Town versus Southampton if there wasn't late drama, but hopefully things are signed and sealed before then in terms of a home victory. O'Shea backpedals and offers himself to Morsey, and Cecil in the centre of the field gets away from Stevens, drills a low ball accurately to Hutchinson far side, coming in from the right touchline. Overlapping is Twanzebe up against Grumbeck, who's gone with him. Back it goes to Hutchinson. He then finds in Cecil, the number 9, couple of step overs, trying to bamboozle the Southampton defenders. Morsey's short. Morsey around the corner looking for Twanzebe. Got his angle all wrong, the captain. Goal kick Ramsdale.
Yeah, got that wrong there, Sam Morsey, but that was potentially another good move, but didn't Enciso do really well again. He gets himself sort of spun round so quickly, and then he's away at the defenders. You know, he's a good player, he really is.
Grumbeck has gone down injured over on the far side of the field. Southampton only scored 2 or more in 3 games all season. That's obviously what they're going to have to do now to go on and win this one. Grumbeck is thankfully for Southampton back up on his feet. Remember, on air till 6 o'clock, usual Saturday match day hours. Have a chat to Graham and Mick afterwards. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. Text 81333. Set those messages SFK. Or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, put SFK at the start of those to get through to us. Enciso on halfway, infield to Delap, back to Enciso. He's brought down, is he, by Ugachukwu? Yes, says the referee. Michael Oliver in a good position. Or you can email me as well ahead of Monday night's Blue Hour on BBC Radio Suffolk. Brenner at bbc.co.uk. BRENNER at bbc.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you on Monday. Hutchinson on the right, infield to Morsey. Lovely sunny afternoon at a jam-packed Portman Road. You see the full match commentary on BBC Radio Suffolk. Twanzebe down the line looking for Hutchinson. Twanzebe's then carried on the ball. Good work down the Ipswich Town right infield to Enciso. Little ball into the box looking for Delap, just too far behind him. Delap stretched but couldn't get on it. Onuachu's done well to hold the ball up. Aribo tries to play it through for Grumbeck. Brought down by Morsey. No, says the referee. Again, well spotted by Michael Oliver in a good position, but I was a little bit concerned for a moment there.
That looked a bit suspect, didn't it?
I thought so, absolutely. And if he had given the decision against Moores, he had an even bigger decision to make as to whether Grunbeck could have gone in on goal, but nothing doing. Here is O'Shea. Out to the right-hand side, Twanzebe. Infield to Enciso. Enciso first time between the lines. Finds Hutchinson. Still on halfway. Off the ball. There's a man down far side. Morsey trying to shake off the attentions of Aribo in midfield. Greaves. Good ball up to Delap. Davis has gone on an overlapping run. Delap tries to find him. Great play from Delap. Good running forward by Davis, who's fouled James Bree. Free kick to the Saints.
Yeah, good defensive play by Bree. He sort of kept tracking the run of Leif Davis there and stayed with him. Leif Davis normally gets the better of people when he makes that type of run, but he didn't get the better of Bree.
Hopefully Ipswich Town can find a way to a goal in this second half. Delap's looking very good this afternoon. I wouldn't rule out another goal for him to go to double figures for the season, which by game 24 in his debut in the Premier League is a phenomenal achievement. He'll certainly get to double figures at some stage. Chested down by Onuachu. Little back heel from Fernandez, recruited in the summer from Sporting Lisbon for £15 million. Mateus Fernandez just found his best form of late for Southampton, apparently. Whilst Dibling's been out of the team. He's one of the attacking changes Southampton can make. Dibbling thought he looked really good, the highly rated 19-year-old at St Mary's. Town, incidentally, the only team in the Premier League that haven't fielded a teenager so far. Muric towards O'Shea. O'Shea gives the ball back towards Muric. Muric digs out his clearance towards the halfway line, and Delap being challenged successfully by Bednarek. Now Aribo finds Bednarek, who's trying to get up to Onuachu. Flags up against Southampton. Well, I thought Onuachu might be about to trouble Ipswich Town, but the checkered flag went up immediately. And Enciso gets the ball. Town took a quick free kick. He's crossing halfway, the 21-year-old Paraguayan. Hutchinson's making a run, needs to stay onside, and Enciso's held on to it. Threads it through to Delap. Delap's inside the area. Delap on his left foot goes down, lightly cleared away. As far as Ugachukwu. Hasn't been accused on occasions of going down lightly like that. Delap didn't win a penalty on that occasion. Did at Fulham. Broadhead trying to twist and turn away from Fernandez. Kayuste slides in there. Doesn't quite get the ball, but Broadhead comes away with it. Delap is still down in the penalty area off to our right-hand side, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Seems to be holding his nose. And up and under clearance from Southampton. Onuachu bundles into O'Shea. Free kick. Greaves takes it quickly. It's a pace about this game at the moment. Twanzebe onto the centre spot, and Enciso gets away from Aribo. He's enjoying himself. Then he finds Broadhead, who skips away from Ugachukwu. Good play by a couple of the attacking Town players. Broadhead's done terrifically. Out to Hutchinson, outside the Southampton area. Might have a go. Still has it, Amari Hutchinson. On his left side, low ball into the box towards Davis. Shields it back to Kayuste. Hit it with plenty pace, but next to no direction. A mile off target from his Tweed.
Well, it was an awful shot, but we're playing some good stuff. I think that Broadhead and Enciso are giving great support to Delap, and that's a really good little threesome with Broadhead coming right off the left touchline. It puts a little bit of pressure on Leif Davis, because it means he's got an awful lot of work to do up that left-hand side, and then and also a little bit of pressure behind Leif Davis onto Jacob Greaves. But as long as those two can handle, the big area that they've got to sort of deal with, keep Broadhead going into that sort of area, because the three attacking players are playing well, and they look as if they're well capable of getting a couple of goals.
Break and play at the moment, because Jack Stevens is down, having only been on the field 9 and a bit minutes. He's the club captain at Southampton, just back from injury, covering for Harwood Bellis this afternoon. What do you make of yesterday's news? Luke Wolfenden signing that new 2.5-year deal, Mick.
Well, I think that's very much a player for me. He's a local boy, he loves this club, and he'd do anything basically to stay at this club, because it's an unusual thing for a player to do. He actually was in a very strong position if he let his contract run out. If it was any other player, I think without sort of local ties, they would have allowed that contract to run out and then take stock in the summer when they're in a very, very good bargaining position. But I think Luke Wolfenden loves this club, and good, Credit to him, he's done what he wants to do, and that's all that matters. He's going to stay and he's going to cling to every possibility that he has to be a member of this club and a successful member of this club.
Well, whatever the result, this trip's come at a cost defensively to Southampton, because Stevens' afternoon's lasted 9 minutes. He's off. Smallbone, who's a midfielder, is on the field. We're just waiting to see when things settle down whether that means Aribo has gone into the back three or whether Southampton have changed things around, because they've just got a shortage of centre-halves all of a sudden. O'Shea and Morsey went for the same ball. O'Shea made contact, as long as one of them did. Walker-Peters down the right-hand side for Southampton. Stevens, rather dejectedly, walks towards the tunnel underneath us. Bednarek. Town's still the better side in this game. This is a right old chance. Oh, Amari Hutchinson rather sold himself. Wellington crossed the ball into the box. Onuachu heads it on, but Davis is there to get it back to Murich. Well covered. Good defending from Leif Davis. Well done.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep the same shape. It's still three at the back. Aribo has sort of dropped back into that back three with Bree and Bednarek, and then you've obviously got the two wing backs down the sides, you know, Walker-Peters and Wellington on the left.
I wonder if Flynn Downs is ill or injured, but goodness me, he could
better than what's out there.
Absolutely, he could certainly improve this side, or whether a move is lined up for Monday. I'd certainly have him back here.
He could
be a good signing for Ipswich Town, and Dowley, because I think they are a bit weak in midfield. It's an area Town could strengthen, but anyway, not around for Southampton, which is good news for us. Here is Ugachukwu, one of their probably better players. He's on a run, but Kayuste is there quicker. He guides it back to Murich inside his 6-yard area. He passes it out to Twanzebe, who loses the ball to Grumbeek. Not good from Ipswich Town. Grumbeek then loses it. Hutchinson wins the ball for Ipswich Town, running forward freely, gets away from Smallbone in the centre, finds Broadhead, terrific running from Hutchinson. Broadhead helps it on to Davis. Davis tries to go back infield square, but it's come off Walker-Peters, and he belts it high out of play off to our left. Town of an attacking throw-in.
Yeah, terrific winning of the ball by Amari Hutchinson. He might have been a bit lucky in the way he did it, but it was a great surging run by him. He gets it out to the left-hand side, and then the two boys down here, Broadhead and Davis, combined nicely. I thought they might have just created a little bit more than they did in the end, but it was a great sweeping, attacking movement from right to left.
Philogene coming on for Ipswich Town. Town have a throw-in, trying to take the lead for the first time in this game. 58 minutes played. Kayuste throws the ball at the Southampton area, headed on by Greaves. Back to goal. Delap tries to help it towards Enciso! Oh, his shot was close. That was very, very nearly 2-1 Ipswich Town. I don't think Ramsdale would have got there had it been on target.
No, that was nicely done. That was just keeping the ball alive, really. The long throw didn't look as if it had much future to start with, but it was sheer sort of determination to keep it in play by Jacob Greaves, and he sets up Enciso, and his shot is not far away.
That was a controlled effort rather than one that he put all his might behind. Enciso, ball was spinning but just didn't dip enough. Certainly caused panic in the head of Ramsdale. Forward from Hutchinson, on goes Delap, cleared out on the far side. It's going to be interesting to see who Philogene replaces. Throw-in on the far side of the field, which will be taken by Twanzebe. It looks just likely to be the solo substitution. Nobody else up visible down below us, just the number 29. Morsey driving through midfield, going square, finding Fernandez rather than Broadhead. Southampton with Walker-Peters, goes back to Ramsdale. Town have got to go on and win this game. They won't get many better opportunities against a side of this kind of quality in the Premier League. It's there for the taking for Ipswich Town. A real disappointment if they only came out of this game with a point or, of course, less. Kayuste back to Greaves with the headband on to Enciso. Greaves has it at the back. Here is Enciso once again, losing the ball to Aribo. Back it goes to Walker-Peters, running into the centre circle. Gives the ball back to Wellington on that knife edge, that yellow card he got in the first half. Wellington, small boner, full Ireland international. Bree to Aribo. Aribo guides the ball diagonally to the right. Bree in field. Walker-Peters slips as he turns, could have hurt himself. Play continues. Walker-Peters is out of the game. Smallbone has the ball on the left-hand side. Southampton have it with Wellington. Wellington in field. Fernandez outside the Ipswich town area, gives it to Bree on the edge of the box. Bree hits deflected, might be a chance beyond the far post for a Southampton player. No, they've won their first corner kick just after the hour mark.
Walker-Peters looks really hurt there, and but that was a dangerous ball that cracked through there, and anything could have happened there. But fortunately, in a way, it just goes for a corner kick, because it could have been something more.
Yeah, could easily have been. It's going to be Fernandez on Southampton's first corner kick of the afternoon. We're just past the hour mark at Portman Road. All eyes on the penalty area, off to our right-hand side, being guarded by Ipswich Town. 1-1 as this set piece comes in. It's headed towards goal. Hasn't been dealt with just yet, and slice shot from Aribo was a chance. It's hooked back by Bednarek. That was as good a chance as his goal. Really, it was missed, thankfully, by Aribo. Town a little bit fortunate to get away with that one, and Ciso down the line to Hutchinson. Here come Ipswich Town, turning defence into attack. Low ball into the centre, looking for Broadhead, can't get there. Had a Grumbeak, good covering back by the debutant for Southampton.
Did well, sweeping movement down the right side there. We had sort of players in Ciso, Hutchinson, Broadhead involved in the end. That was a good sort of counter-attack.
Davis, Broadhead and Sarmiento. As if I need to tell you, Sarmiento, the goal scorers in this game last year. Davis and Broadhead still out there this time around. This Premier League fixture. Town with 5 defeats in their last 7 heading into this game. Here comes the change for Ipswich Town. Broadhead, the player going off to be replaced by Philogene. Had that one really good chance in the first half, Broadhead, but otherwise he's had a good afternoon, justified his inclusion. And on will come Jaden Philogene. So 2 of Ipswich Town's 3 January arrivals so far out there. I say so far because despite the fact that it's February the 3rd, the window closes on Monday. Although Kieran McKenna saying yesterday's press conference, his gut feeling is that there won't be any ins or outs before Monday, but you never know. Bree, and they also said no panic buys to cover for Ogbeni and Burns down the right either, which is sensible. Walker-Peters outside the Ipswich Town area. Back it goes to Fernandez, but not enough on that. Very poor from a player who's better than that, Walker-Peters. It's Philogene who lost that ball very cheaply, and Walker-Peters runs it out, much to the relief of Philogene. That was very poor first involvement from him.
Yeah, I think Broadhead's been unlucky that he's sort of the one that's had to come off. Because I was thinking, because our 4 forwards were all going well, I didn't really know who was going to come off, but Philogene is on. He's a different type of player than Nathan Broadhead. I don't think he'll link as much infield as what Broadhead has been doing, but he is more capable of running balls down the left touchline than what Broadhead is.
Bree gets the ball back towards Ramsdale. Fans got a little bit excited because they thought it might have been short and Philogene might have got in there. Ramsdale with a long kick, awkward bounce. Flag's gone up against Fernandez for offside. So Greaves in the end doesn't have to do anything whatsoever. Takes the free kick quickly. Back to Aramurich. 18.5 gone in the second half on BBC Radio Suffolk. No real clear-cut chances for 2-1 in the second half so far. Davis, right-footed towards Delap. Delap controls the ball on the left-hand side. Going down the wing, the number 19, a goal scorer in this game, cuts in field. Delap still has it, goes for goal, but that's as far off target as he's been off all season.
Yeah, he's not on the same wavelength as Leif Davis. That was for Liam Delap then. He did really well initially, but then the run comes from Leif Davis, and it's an excellent run. It just needs Leif just to stay cool, calm, and just wait for Leif, because if he does, he puts him clear of the back line, you know, and in the end he goes infield and he goes across to the right, and I don't really know what he tried to do in the end.
It's only 8 years since Southampton had back-to-back Europa League seasons. They were a fixture for a long old while in the Premier League. Forward from O'Shea, they went down with 25 points a couple of seasons ago. Had a play for a throw to Southampton midway inside their half of the field. So Town have got Coventry away next week in the Cup, then it's a trip to a similar part of the world when their Premier League season resumes a fortnight from now. We're at Villa Park, then Tottenham at home. Can Ipswich Town complete their first double of the season? That's Manchester United away, a trip to Crystal Palace. A fair number of away games. I think it's 4 out of the next 5 or something for Ipswich Town are on the road because of the cup game in a week. Morsey to the far side. Hutchinson still full of beans. He comes in field. It's 1-1. Hutchinson finds Enciso. He was never going to be the player to make way. I must admit I was surprised that anybody did as well. I was like you, Mick. I thought they were going to find that 4.
Yeah.
There is Enciso. Back to O'Shea. Greaves has got it on this left-hand side for Ipswich Town. Gives it to Davis. Davis back towards Greaves. Greaves in field, finding Dara O'Shea. O'Shea up towards halfway and Enciso, but in steps Wellington. He's always favourite to get on that ball. It was poor from O'Shea, but now immediately there are 10 blue shirts behind the ball, which is only on halfway. Ugachukwu to Bree, sprinting forward for Southampton. Down there right with Walker-Peters. Now it's Fernandez. He goes square across the park to Wellington. Wellington still has the ball, gets away from the challenge of Hutchinson inside the Ipswich area, goes centrally to Onuachu, who's never going to win that duel against 2 centre halves. Hutchinson shielding the ball away from Grumbick in front of the Southampton fans. He still has it, and he's played it off of Grumbick and won Ipswich Town a good throw in at right back.
Yeah, we've just got to try and sort of take control of the game a little bit more than what we have at the moment. It's a little bit, even Stephen, we're sort of playing our best football actually on the break. We've got to sort of try and take this game territorially up the other end and keep it up there for a longer period of time.
Grumbeck to Onuachu for Southampton. Smallbone down the left-hand side, ball looking for Grumbeck. Southampton still have the threat of Adam Armstrong on the bench, remember. Obviously a very different sort of striker to Onuachu, but a very good one as well, who certainly knows where the back of the net is. The former Newcastle and Blackburn player. Cameron Archer, who's their leading goal scorer this season, 5 goals. No sign of him either. He's been the subject of a lot of talk of interest from Leeds United. So potentially, I guess, the likes of him, Downs and Fraser, maybe all left out of the squad because of pending moves, perhaps. Here is Walker-Peters. Southampton about to make another change. Might be Sulemana who could be coming on for them. Aribo plays the ball down the left wing for Wellington. Oh, mistake from Twanzebe. Wellington gets onto the ball, turns it around the corner. Grumbeck can't get there. Good helping out by Hutchinson. He saw Twanzebe was in a spot of bother. Cleared by Muric to the halfway line. George Hurst's been out stretching and running recently. And Ciso, can he keep the ball in far side? No, but he can play it off Aribo. It's one town a throw in.
Yeah, we just need to lift this game another 40 yards up the pitch and then you would be a little bit happier. It's all just a little bit too much sort of in favour of Southampton.
It's the 1 win in 12 here for Town, of course, this season. That solitary victory against Chelsea. Went the whole month of January without a Premier League win. Davis heads the ball, but it's Bree who clears it. So Calvin Phillips' goal against Bristol Rovers got Town's goal of the month. That was confirmed earlier on. Well done by Delap. Gets the ball off Ugachukwu. Binks it through a gap to Enciso, who's run into traffic. He spun and that helped Aribo. Ipswich Town still have it. Kayuste to Davis on the left, 1-1. It is Sulemana who's coming on for the Saints. Kayuste lifts the ball away from Ugachukwu, then dives. Shefki Kuchi goal celebration like almost. It's a free kick in the middle third for Ipswich Town. Here comes the change for Southampton. Grumbeck, his debut has lasted till the 68th minute. He'll be replaced by Kamaldeen Sulemana. Remember, Monday night between 6 and 7, your chance to spend an hour with me chatting about all things Ipswich Town on the Blue Owl. We'll have reaction to this game, as well as my Town top 10, and we'll be chatting to a Coventry fan, see what she's made of the early days of Frank Lampard and how much they want to a bit of a cup run and to beat Premier League opposition next Saturday when Ipswich Town are in the West Midlands. Kayuste over the yellow ball in a central area with this free kick for Town. Left-footed, gives it back to O'Shea, pretty much in the centre spot. Far side is Twanzebe. Oh, and Ciso's twisted his knee as well and stayed down. Hutchinson on a run, and Ciso's back up on his feet, thankfully. He's all right. Wellington runs into trouble. Sulemana trying to get on the ball. Ipswich win it in midfield. Here is Enciso, a couple of step overs out to the left-hand side. I thought he was looking for Kiyuste. The ball has run to Davis, though. Ipswich have it. Philogene towards Enciso. Lovely turn from him. Cleared away by Smallbone. Enciso screaming at the referee. Thought he deserved a free kick for that challenge. The crowd getting behind Ipswich Town. 20 minutes to go in this game until we have some late drama. Kiyuste, we know the script. Axel Twanzebe towards Hutchinson. Hutchinson towards Delap. Lovely touch from Delap. That's exceptional. Delap into the area. Good advantage play by the referee. Saved by Ramsdale on his near post. Can Twanzebe get in there? No, he can't. That was fabulous play by Liam Delap. Just sadly not a goal-scoring finish.
Yeah, it was fabulous play. I just feel that maybe he could have put somebody else in, but, you know, you've got to give him credit. Good
refereeing as well at the start. That was clearly being impeded. Free kick to Ipswich in the centre of the Southampton half. Take it quickly. Delap brought down. Edge the area. Into the area comes Enciso, who's fluffed his shot, and that was a right old chance for him on his left side.
Well, I'm not sure what the referee's done well if he's allowed this to go. He's played a terrific advantage, and then in the end, Enciso's shot is really sort of a scuffed effort and a poor effort, but credit to us, we really did sort of, you know, work something there, and we just managed now to bring the game up the field a little bit. We desperately needed to do that. We've got to keep it roughly where it is now, and then just take the game towards Ramsdale and put Ramsdale under pressure.
The Wolves match winner Jack Taylor about to come on. One would have thought for Jens Kiyuste. Muric has the ball in the penalty area off to our right. Plays it out short to O'Shea. O'Shea up to the halfway line, and Delap challenged by Bednarek. The ball rather goes through the two of them, and Bree guides it away from Philogene. Back to Ramsdale. He's enhanced his reputation even further in this game. Liam Delap, showing what his game is all about. And of course, the most important part was putting the ball in the back of the net for that equaliser. We're still 1-1. Stopped forward by Ugachukwu. Southampton have the ball on the far side with Sulemana. Gets into the centre of the park, gets away from an attempted tug by Enciso. Gives it to Fernandez. Here comes Southampton. They're not dead yet. Bent ball into the box. Onuachu goes down. Nobody's appealing for a penalty though. Muric catches the ball. With Morsey deep inside the Ipswich Town half, gives it to Enciso, who gets himself around the pitch. He's almost in an orthodox number 6 position in front of the back line when he gets the ball. Gives it to Greaves. Greaves down the line to Leif Davis. Infield from him to Enciso. Davis has continued his run, but the ball's gone back to Morsey on the centre spot. He guides a right footer to the far side, Hutchinson. Twanzebe overlaps. Still 1-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Morsey shields the ball away from Smallbone. Good turn by the captain up towards Enciso, who's dummied it to Delap. Delap's brought down by Bednarek. Surely going to be a free kick to Ipswich Town. Challenge more at home in the Six Nations. It's going to be a free kick. And a good talking to for Bednarek. Town have certainly got a set piece just outside the Southampton area. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's great play as well. Sam Morsey did his best bit of work today. And then the little touch around the corner from Enciso, and then Delap, and they're linking up really nicely. They linked up within the first couple of minutes of the game, and you thought, yeah, partnership looks good. And here we are, they're still working it now.
Second yellow card of the afternoon. Bednarek's name joining that of Wellington in Mr. Oliver's notebook. The referee's going to pace out the correct yardage for the Southampton wall, which has lined itself up, but he's not going to be happy with that. He's dragging them back half a yard. They did a decent job, actually, the Southampton players. He's painting his white line along their toenails. Ipswich Town have a free kick, 23 yards from the Southampton goal line, off to our left. It's going to be Davis, or the full debutant Enciso. Davis gets it up straight into the wall, face height, did its job. Comes back to Twanzebe. Taylor still waits underneath us, ready to come on. Philogene comes in field for Ipswich Town, pulls the ball back to Kiyuste, possibly his last involvement in this game. He finds Morsey, back to Kiyuste. It's 1-1. Ipswich Town desperately looking for a winner. Enciso, he might create it or score it. Gets the edge of the area and then just runs out of steam. Fernandez of Southampton puts it forward. Morsey's going to get back there ahead of Onuachu. And that attack, if you can call it that for Southampton, totally fizzles out as the crowd gets behind Ipswich Town, and Kieran McKenna waves his hands as well and tries to encourage them to increase the noise inside Portman Road. They've got a massive part to play, and as you can hear, they react to Kieran McKenna. Greaves forward towards Delap, takes the ball in his chest up against Bednarek on a yellow. Delap's inside the area, left of centre, might need support, he's still got it, he pulls it to Hutchinson. Hutchinson gives it towards Philogene, not quite cleared by Wellington. Missed by Fernandez. O'Shea tries to see it out, in goes Greaves, wins the ball with a great challenge on Onuachu, and Ciso to the edge of the area. Little turn and Ciso still has it, plays it to Philogene. Philogene, the substitute, inside the Southampton area, stands on the ball, drags it back, gives it to Twanzebe through a little gap. He finds Hutchinson, who then runs back through the gap. Down the right-hand side of the Southampton box, Philogene has the ball. Philogene's inside the area, gets the byline into the middle. It comes cleared away by Bednarek.
We're going well, we just got to create that one good chance.
Throw in has to be retaken far side. Here comes the change for Town. He's been ready a while, as predicted. Taylor comes on for Kayuste. I'd like to see Taylor get some more minutes. Here he comes, never lets Ipswich Town down. Got that headed winner at Molineux before Christmas. Ipswich Town's second of their 3 Premier League wins so far. On come the busy Southampton subs. Aaron Ramsdale is the player who's gone towards them. Not sure what the issue is with him, but obviously play will not resume until he's how do you suss out, or how do you assess Ipswich Town's chances of winning this one at this stage, Mick?
Yeah, they've got a chance. I didn't like, say, about sort of 15 minutes ago, 10-15 minutes ago, when Southampton had pushed us back and back and back, and we were sort of camped in our own half too much, and we were playing on the counter-attack. Some of the counter-attacks were pretty good, but I don't want us to be playing counter-attacking football at home. But now we've sort of started to dominate the play and dominate the ball a little bit more, and there appears to be possibilities again of us going on to win the game.
Let's hope so. Maybe Ipswich Town and Southampton in future should just play injury time. We're all set for a grandstand finish here. We know the script, as I was saying. Sarmiento here at Easter, then it was Morsey in the autumn at St Mary's. Who's going to be the hero out there this afternoon? And Ciso loses the ball. He goes to Smallwood, up to Onuachu. He's got to run it in Sulemana. Can he get there ahead of Twanzebe? Yes, he can. Sulemana, good pace inside the area. Needs support. Still got the ball. Sulemana, he's done well, but Twanzebe defended well. Stuck with him. Good, solid, composed, experienced defending from the former Manchester United player. Lovely play from Twanzebe, now setting up Philogene, running forward, stretching his long legs. Philogene's run a long way. Philogene, edge of the area, still has it somehow, but eventually doesn't do anything with it, and it's back with Ramsdale. But again, Town could have hit Southampton on the break. Now it's up to Onuachu, flags up against him. Shea's done well against the Nigerian for the most part. Dibbling and Lallana coming on. Dibbling's a player. Lallana's not bad either. Here come Ipswich Town with Delap. Both sides will want to win this game. Delap crosses into the middle. Wellington, difficult ball to deal with. He's actually been very fortunate, done very well in the end as the ball's back with Ramsdale. Now Wellington stayed down, getting no sympathy whatsoever from the north stand off to our left, and then Ramsdale eventually kicks it out far side so Wellington can get some treatment.
Yeah, I think he's cramped up a little bit there, that's all. And I think that Twanzebe in the end did some good sort of defensive work. He had me a little bit worried to start with. I thought there was a possibility of a penalty going to come because Sunamani was in sort of control of the situation, and then in the end we get this attack going down the left hand side, and I don't know why Leif Davis gave the ball to Liam Delap in a wide area when Leif Davis is better in the wide area than what Liam is. Liam should have just given it to Leif Davis and got himself in the penalty area. I think he might be coming off.
Wellington is struggling at the moment. It seems to be, or look to be, cramp. That's what the treatment seemed to be from one of his colleagues. 29,902 the attendance. Wellington still down far side. Yes, certainly Lallana, Dibbling, and another Southampton player, Sugawara, who's a like-for-like left-back. That's the end of the afternoon for Wellington. whatever the issue is, but Dibbling certainly concerns me because he's a
I don't want
lovely
him
little
coming
footballer.
on.
No, I don't either. Really like him a lot. He's understandably been linked with some massive clubs. The 18-year-old who was at Southampton, went to Chelsea, didn't work out, came back to Southampton after a year there, and he's probably favourite at this stage in probably what is a very short field to be their player of the season. Liverpool 2-0 up at Bournemouth. I see that's an excellent result. Fulham have got an equaliser at Newcastle. Everton still coasting towards a massive 3 points for them at home to Leicester. Leicester coming off the back of that much needed win over Tottenham, but that's yet another defeat for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Here come the changes. Sugawara, the Japanese, is indeed on for Wellington. Let's see what the other changes are for Southampton. I think they've maybe held back Dibbling because of that injury to Wellington. I think Lallana is going to be the other half of this double change at the moment. On he comes for Ugachukwu in midfield. A little bit of a surprise for me, that one. But yeah, at the moment Dibbling is still on the bench, and long may that continue. I didn't really want to see Armstrong or Dibbling, and neither has come on so far. It's going to be a throw-in, which sportingly Philogene gives back to Ramsdale, who was booing that. Goodness gracious me. No one's heard of sportsmanlike behaviour on the far side. Ramsdale with this kick for Southampton. 1-1, 9 minutes to go. Come on, Ipswich Town. Onuachu with a back header. Back to the goalkeeper from Twanzebe. Muric has miscontrolled it. Thankfully, it was wide for a corner kick, because, oh my goodness me, had that been towards the net, that would have been a horrific moment for Ipswich Town. Corner kick to Southampton, gifted them.
That was powerful enough to be a shot.
I know, goodness me, Muric has given him a bit of a glare. They've patted palms, but Muric could have done one out that from Twanzebe. Just thank heavens it was off target. Corner kick to Southampton. Can they capitalise on this gift that Ipswich Town have given them with 8 minutes to go at Portman Road? Fernandez knocks it into the Town area, headed away well, and a huddle of bodies back out to the right hand side. Town did their defensive job well. Knocked into the Ipswich area by Sulemana, headed away not too far by O'Shea, but he was being impeded. You probably heard the whistle. Free kick to Aro Muric. 1-1's not really good enough for Ipswich. That's obviously better than a defeat, but come on, against a very poor side at home. Got to win this. Davis looking for Enciso. Bree is there though, read the ball and gave it back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale clears to halfway. Onuachu wins a header, but it goes out into the hands of Jack Clark below us. He quickly throws it to Leif Davis. 7.5 minutes to go. Dara O'Shea finds Axel Twanzebe. No one leaving this one early. They all know what happens when these two sides meet. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Every kick of every Ipswich Town game. We'll have Paul Anderson, former Town winger, alongside me at Coventry next week, and then myself and Mick will be at Villa Park. Town playing it at the back. Taylor through a little gap between Lallana and Onuachu, finds O'Shea. He'll dash forward 20 yards perhaps, then plays the ball to Twanzebe. Philogene gets it far side, he loses out. Southampton have it with Sulemana. Little back heel from him to Walker Peters, who's switched to the left. Sugawara's playing right wing back. Southampton with Bednarek, gets it to Bree. Still no sign of another change from the Ipswich Town bench. Kieran McKenna happy with his attacking options out there, because that'll be the changes he makes most likely. Onuachu to Philogene. Philogene gets it back to Morsey. Twanzebe bends the ball over the top. Hutchinson gets on it inside the Southampton area. Now just outside the box, down the right. Gets it under the studs of his right boot. Holding it up, waiting for support. Twanzebe might be the man he waits for. And then Aribo is tripped by Philogene. And another attack, if you want to call it that, comes to nothing for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, just not sure whether we've made too many sort of positional changes. I mean, we've sent Philogene out onto the right touchline. Hutchinson's come in field. Enciso has sort of disappeared a little bit further away from...
Well, again, the changes haven't had a positive impact, have they? The subs were a positive last week in a game of very few, but they've not enhanced Ipswich Town again this afternoon, it has to be said. Cleared by Ramsdale. Certainly so far, hopefully I'm tempting fate, been no better with Philogene on than Broadhead, far from it. Here is Enciso. He's staying on the field, he can certainly conjure something up. On a run, left-hand side, here he is, he's got a couple of players in front of him. Fernandez takes the ball away from him, then gets tripped by Enciso. Ivan Juric applauds his player. It's a free kick to Southampton, just off to our left. Approaching the final 5 minutes of this game. Is it going to really be another case of deja vu when these two sides meet? Ramsdale, and what a winner it would be given the context of the league table, with 14 games to go after this one. Taylor heads the ball back to Greaves. Greaves finds Muric on his goal line, quickly gets it back to Greaves. Didn't want to hang around on the ball there, Muric. Davis infield towards Taylor. Taylor inside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Lallana is pressing. Taylor's done very well. Clears it to Philogene far side. Of course, all three of the Hull players from last season on the field now. Greaves, Philogene and Delap. There is Hutchinson getting the ball back to Twanzebe. Twanzebe sells O'Shea rather short. Hutchinson gets back in on it in the right back area. Dinks it down the line towards Philogene. He can't get a hold of it. Town less than convincing. Philogene finds Twanzebe. Twanzebe clears up towards Delap. Delap's momentum takes the ball out of play. Every time there's a break, I look towards the Ipswich Town bench just to see if Kieran McKenna's get tempted to look at George Hurst. Throw in on the far side to Southampton. 4 minutes to go. Unchallenged, Aribo gets the ball, given away by Aribo. Enciso intercepts, Taylor to Delap. Here come the blue shirts of Ipswich Town from right to left. Delap can't get the ball to Hutchinson, who's just to his right. Fernandez brought down again. Good advantage played by the referee. Southampton have the ball on the far side with Walker-Peters. That's their left. He gives it to Sulemana. Forward come the yellow shirts. Sulemana inside the Ipswich Town area. He still has it. He shoots. Saved by Muric. And then it's turned in. Oh no! Southampton take the lead for the second time in this game, and it's the big man Onuachu who goes to celebrate what might be a massive win for the Saints and a bitter blow to Ipswich Town's chances of staying in the Premier League. More late drama between these two sides. It's Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 2 with 3 minutes of the 90 to go.
Well, all of a sudden we've started to look vulnerable defensively down our right-hand side, down the Southampton left, and again, that's where it's come from. We look poor down there, we look defensively poor. Twanzebe is found wanting too much room, far too much room to get a shot away. The shot is not the best, it's got to go. Get your hand to it, get it around the post. Mr. Muric not bring it back into play. The ball comes back in play, and where does it go? In the back of the net. So poor defending down the right-hand side to start with. Too much room, gets a shot away, and then when you're making a save, get it around the post for a corner kick.
Barring a complete turnaround, this is a really, really poor result for Ipswich Town. Even a draw now would be a poor. We would certainly take it now, but overall, come on. You've got to win these games. Ipswich Town now scrapping to get a draw. Hurst and Clark have come on for Townsend and Enciso. Sorry, not for Townsend, for Enciso and Davis. Should I say, when I saw Davis going off, my mind automatically flipped to Connor Townsend coming on, but he hasn't. It's Clark who's playing to the left of Greaves. Liam Delap was furious when that goal went in. His reaction afterwards, he picked up a water bottle purely, not to take a slug out of it, but just to launch it back down into the grass near side. This is a terrible result for Ipswich Town. And when the Saints go marching in as the chant far side.
I mean, why do we make one attacking change and then make three positional changes to accommodate that attacking change? I don't understand it. And Enciso was taken far too far away from Liam Delap, and Amari Hutchinson coming off the right touchline to play in the centre was totally wrong. I can't understand it.
No, changes have been poor. Southampton with their tails up, lead for a second time in this game, but crucially now we're into the 90th minute. Such a poor side Ipswich Town are losing to. Aribo, fair play though to Southampton. Juric heading towards his first victory as Southampton manager. This is a team that's taken 2 points from the last 39 available. 11 defeats and 2 draws in their last 13, but there was always a chance. They're going to win at some stage, Southampton. Hopefully not this afternoon, but sitting pretty at the moment with 2 goals out of the 3 that have been scored. Here's Onuachu. It never looked like scoring a goal until he did a few moments ago, it has to be said. Sulemana, he's been bright for Southampton, gets into the town area but illegally. In the end, it's going to be a goal kick at the back, so yeah, more question marks perhaps over Muric for the goal, but others culpable as well. How much added on? 8 minutes, goodness gracious me, we'll take that. So maybe Town will cause some crazy late drama and go on and have a 3-2 victory. At least at this stage in April, when Sarmiento scored, it was 2-2. Didn't need 2 late goals. Morsey downfield. Town got Hurst and Delap on the field. Needs must. Totally understandable. Delap to Clark on the left-hand side. Can he really come to the party in the league? Still looking for his first goal for the club in league football, Jack Clark. Greaves for Ipswich Town. Gives the ball to Clark. Of course, doesn't change anything in the league table. Town still second from bottom, but rather than going 13 points clear of Southampton, they're only 7. Morsey, although I'm still convinced what I've seen of this Southampton team, they're going down. Town have still got a far greater chance of staying up, as much as this is a blow, a dent to their hopes, if it stays like this. Twanzebe towards Hutchinson on that right-hand side. All the noise coming from the Southampton fans, as you can probably hear on BBC Radio Suffolk. 1 minute of the added-on 8 have gone. O'Shea to Twanzebe. Twanzebe tries to take on the number 20 on the far side, Sulemana. He's happy to just knock the ball downfield, and it curls out of play, wasting a few more seconds. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Muric. Looks like Ipswich Town's dry January is continuing into February. O'Shea towards Greaves to Delap. Of course, a lot of these players will be rested at Coventry next week. Clark finds Taylor, 2 likely starters in the West Midlands. There's Morsey giving it towards Twanzebe. Philogene, what can he do up against Walker-Peters? In comes his cross, deflected, headed away well by Southampton. That could have been troublesome. Fernandez brought down by Greaves, free kick. Nothing more, says Mr. Oliver.
Well, it's a great cross in. We were a little bit unlucky from that, but then the ball comes out, and that's a really unnecessary sort of free kick to give away there. You know, that just takes all the pressure off of Southampton. It means that we've got to be very, very patient to wait to see if we can get some more possession before we can even think about creating a chance, you know, so that's a silly free kick.
Ramsdale, as you'd expect, taking a fair bit of time over this. Southampton led, Ipswich Town equalised, Southampton lead again. 3 minutes into the added-on 8. Southampton 5 minutes away from a seismic second victory of the season. Lallana forward, the ball goes towards Greaves. Greaves towards O'Shea at the back for Ipswich Town. Here is Twanzebe, held up by Sulemana. Morsey has the ball. Can he be the late hero against Southampton with an equaliser for the second time this season? Hutchinson distributes the ball to Greaves. Along the deck to the left-hand side, Taylor. Can he come up with another magical moment in the league? Clark, the number 47, coming in field. Loves to run with the ball. Just going square at the moment. Plays it square to Twanzebe across the park. Far side, Philogene, one-on-one with Walker-Peters. Could have some joy. Philogene hits his cross deep to the far stick. Delap brings it down with a lovely touch. Then he fouls Bree. Free kick, says the referee. Delap's just got to walk away calmly from the situation.
Yeah, we just sort of lost our cool, really, you know, and that's hurt us, that sort of second goal from Southampton. We've lost all our composure, our sort of thoughts and everything.
So concerned, worried, disappointed faces in the crowd that have been zoomed in on Ipswich Town supporters. All the smiles are from the few thousand Southampton fans. Sugawara just given a yellow card for petulantly kicking the ball away. The midway point of the added-on 8 minutes has been reached. O'Shea heads the ball away from the back for Ipswich Town. Smallbone, an early change in the second half, nods it forward. Clark in the left-back area. There's the ball across the field, brought down by O'Shea. Here is Morsey. Morsey running up to the halfway line. Things rather opened up for him, still just crossing the centre spot. Morsey measures a pass to the right, giving the ball to Philogene. Town believe he can have some joy against Walker-Peters, playing out of position at left wing back. Walker-Peters, terrible ball from Philogene. Luckily no danger, easily intercepted by Lallana, and he rolls the ball into the Ipswich Town half of the field to waste a few more seconds. 50 minutes played in the second half. Long ball forward over the top of Hurst, and he grazing the top of his head back towards Ramsdale. Interesting to hear the crowd reaction at full time, and then also when you have your say 0800 141 2121 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333, and also on the Blue Hour on Monday between 6 and 7. Brenner at bbc.co.uk. It's going to be hard for Town fans to be positive about this one. Greaves with a header forward, belted away by Bednarek. Out near side, just over the top of the Ipswich Town dugout. There is Greaves. Just looking down at the Town bench to see if Jeremy Sarmiento is there. Sadly not. We've got 2 minutes of the added on 8 to go. Hutchinson. Well, surely the chance of a win has now gone. Can Ipswich Town get a late equaliser? They'll be crestfallen if they don't get another goal, Ipswich Town. Greaves to Clark. 51 played in the second half. Little back heel from Clark, leaves it to Taylor. Town coming forward. Taylor towards Delap. Delap's held on to it well. So a good game. Infield to Morsey. Morsey changes direction and evades two midfielders. O'Shea for Ipswich, who are camped inside the Southampton half off to our left-hand side. 90 seconds for Ipswich Town to get something from this game. Lovely spin from Morsey, taking on three midfielders. Couldn't quite beat Sulemana, the third one. Now he's running forward. Sulemana plays it against Greaves. And the ball comes off Greaves, so he sprints to keep it in on the near side, which he's managed to do. Urged on by the crowd, and Southampton will be nervy. They won't be confident of holding on to this. They're going to be pressed back by Ipswich Town. Town have got to take advantage of that. Philogene on the right, outside of the Southampton area, taking on Walker-Peters. Hasn't crossed it just yet, held on to it eventually. Left-footed, deflected into the centre, sliced clearance, not very good. Clark takes it on his chest inside the Southampton box. Clark comes out of the area, plays it square towards Twanzebe, sets himself, knocks it into the middle, headed away by Southampton. As far as Onuachu, the match winner, those long legs of his, carries it so far, then gives it straight to Philogene. Philogene has the ball for Ipswich Town, 30 yards from goal. He's still got it up to the edge of the box. Checks in field, Southampton through Lallana, get it back to Sugawara. He clears out near side. We have 30 seconds of this game to go. Greaves with a throw in for Ipswich Town. It's now or never. Ivan Juric within seconds of his first win as Southampton manager. A massive defeat this for Ipswich Town is on the way. Cleared by Walker-Peters. Ipswich still knocking on the door. Philogene on the right hand side can't get beyond Aribo. Southampton defending well. Ipswich Town desperate for one opportunity. The clock is ticking down. Southampton seconds away from a win. Hutchinson goes to deck, brought away by Aribo, pulled down by Twanzebe. And Southampton celebrate a massive victory at Portman Road. A huge defeat this for Ipswich Town in terms of their hopes of staying in the Premier League. Kieran McKenna shakes hands with his opposite number, Ivan Juric, who's just secured his first win as Southampton manager. It's one victory in 13 for second from bottom of the Premier League, Ipswich Town. And this one is just not good enough.
Oh, this is a disastrous result. It really is. I mean, you know, it's not just the fact it's Southampton who's come up here, but we've now had the chance to see what Southampton are all about, and they have gone backwards and backwards and backwards since I last saw them, you know, and this was a game that we could certainly have won without question. And I've got to just say, sometimes this bench stuff, you know, sometimes you can ignore your bench. You know, you don't need your bench. You've got 11 players on the pitch who could have won the game without question, and especially at the top end of the pitch. It's 1-1. We need a goal to win the game 2-1. We've got four players up front who individually are playing well and collectively are playing well. I'm absolutely convinced if they had stayed out there for another half an hour as a foursome, we would have created 2 or 3 chances, and between them we would have got a couple of goals from them and we would have won the game. That's where, you know, this obsession with bringing subs on has hurt us today. It really has. We didn't need to do that. Okay, we could have maybe brought some fresh legs on at right fullback. We could have brought some fresh legs on between Sam Morsey and Kajus, but leave the front four alone. That was the best part of the team in the first half. It was the best part of the team in the 15 or 20 minutes before we made a substitution. Sometimes just leave it alone, and we allowed a poor Southampton team, you know, to actually come up here and take 3 points from a very, very average performance. You know, it's so disappointing.
Yeah, it is. And in terms of the overall picture, I know you said quite rightly, and I did agree with the sentiment, if we win today we're not safe, if we lose today we're not going down, but it's a result they're going to have to get over, and it is a blow, isn't it? I mean, when you look at games penciled in the final, what was it ahead of today, 15 to win, this was right up there, surely it was.
Oh, without question. I mean, you know, I just said when you look at what's left of the season and you start to sort of look at targets and maybe you're talking 32, 33 points is where you've possibly got to be. You might need more, I don't know, but it looks as if that could be a safety sort of margin. Now, I'll tell you what's happened is that we're slowly sort of going down now. I think without question, we're down to, as far as we're concerned, we're down to 3 from 4. And that's been whittled down very, very quickly. For a long time this season, it was any 3 from 6, and then you sort of had Crystal Palace who got themselves in gear and went away from everybody. It was then 3 from 5, and then I think Moyes going in at Everton has been sort of the answer. No disrespect to the previous manager, because I think he's good and I think he did as well as he could, but Moyes has freshened it up, and I think Everton are up and running, and they're running away from any possibility of finishing below 32, 33 points. There'd be, I think, 40 points, maybe past that sort of figure. So now it's 3 from 4. So we're in a really tight situation. We can still grab the 4th from the bottom position, but we've got to do a little bit better than we've done today. We could so easily have got 3 points today. We were the best side out there for a long period, and then I think we messed up really with 1 or 2 decisions.
Yeah, never mind Manchester City, Liverpool, whatever results. That by a million miles for me is Ipswich Town's worst defeat of the season. Southampton have beaten them by 2 goals to 1. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come.